please remain standing? Heavenly Father, we come to you today in prayer, asking for your guidance and wisdom as we begin this forum on building a safer Bicol, creating a safe spaces through the Bawal Bastos Law. Help us to stay focused and attentive as we learn and grow together. Give us the strength to stay motivated and the courage to ask questions when needed. We thank you for the opportunity to learn and grow in knowledge. May our minds be open to new ideas and our hearts be filled with understanding. In Jesus' name, amen.
Thank you so much, and you may now take your seats.
And to officially open today's program, may we call upon Dr. Lani L. Maceda, the officer in charge of the Bicol University.
Good morning, everyone. It's actually an honor for me to be here and to be sent by the President because I want to advocate really the Bawal Bastos, very important lalo na sa ating mga babae, but I have to read the message of the President because siya talagang gumawa ng message for everyone ngayon. Kaya kailangan ko siyang basahin. On behalf of Bicol University and our beloved University President, Dr. Baby Boy Benjamin D. Nebres III, who cannot be with us physically in this activity due to an equally important engagement, he has to attend to the fourth quarter meeting of the BU Board of Regents in CHED, Manila, and as the designated university. Once again, welcome to Bicol University, and thank you for joining us in this meaningful endeavor. Let us have a productive and insightful forum ahead. Thank you very much and welcome, everyone.
Lani Maceda for that warm and welcoming message.
And of course, Dr. Nebres also for as a kickstart of our program. And Geoffrey, run through muna tayo what are going to expect for today. Sure. So, alam mo ba na we have so many exciting topics to learn today. Yes. Starting off is with what is gender-based sexual harassment, safe spaces situationer in Albay, safe spaces reporting mechanism in the university, and of course later on we'll have Senator Risa Ontiveros is coming for her message on safe spaces and the panel discussion on safe spaces as well.
Yeah, I'm very excited, and hopefully everyone, our students are excited as well because we'll be having Senator Risa later.
Yes.
And this will be a very productive discussion to all of us.
Yes, hindi yun na kailangan pumunta sa Senate. Just to be with Senator Risa, dito na talaga, dumalaw siya dito sa Bicol University to be with us today.
Hindi na lang sa TikTok, hindi na lang sa Facebook Reels.
Yes, hindi na lang sa, hindi na lang online. Dito, fresh.
Dinayo tayo ni Senator Risa Ontiveros here in Bicol University.
Yes,
That's why we should be very grateful. Yes po. So ayan, moving forward, our first keynote topic gives us a deep understanding of gender-based sexual harassment and how the Safe Spaces Act addresses it.
Yes, Geoffrey, and our presenter is the Senate Legal Counsel and the chairperson of the Senate Bids and Awards Committee. She was the former chairperson of the Senate Gender and Development Focal Point System, and under her dynamic leadership, the Senate GAD Focal Point System launched numerous transformative initiatives, including mainstreaming gender considerations into Senate legislation, dahil alam niyo naman, tagagawa ng batas ang Senate, advocating for the use of gender-neutral language in legislative measures and official documents, conducting capacity-building trainings, forums, and seminars to foster participation across all genders and promote a gender-fair environment within the Senate. Implementing programs to raise awareness and consciousness about gender and development, both inside and outside the Senate, like this one, lumalabas kami ng Senate of the Philippines. She got her Bachelor of Arts in Economics from the University of the Philippines, Diliman, as cum laude. She obtained her law degree from the same university and ranked 4th in the bar examinations. Ladies and gentlemen, to discuss what is gender-based violence, let us welcome Attorney Maria Valentina S. Cruz.
Good morning, everyone. I'd like to thank Officer in Charge, Dr. Lani L. Maceda, Attorney Daryl Rebolado, University Legal Officer, Ms. Kimberly M. Banse Gonzalez, Legal Officer of the Regional Legal Region 5. Okay, so I will start my lecture. Medyo mahaba po. I will deliver it in English and a little bit in Filipino. I will try to shorten it a bit because I think I have 70 plus slides. But I will focus primarily on the Safe Spaces Act, which is Republic Act 11313, entitled An Act Defining Gender-Based Sexual Harassment in Streets, Public Spaces, Online Workplaces, and Educational or Training Institutions, providing protective measures and prescribing penalties therefore. So ito pong batas was authored and sponsored by Senator Risa Ontiveros, and it became effective last August 3, 2019. It is truly a remarkable legislation. Okay, let's just review. So, sex refers to the biological differences between males and females, such as the genitalia and genetic differences. So, lalaki at babae. And gender refers to the role of a male or female in society known as a gender role or an individual's concept of themselves or gender identity. So, panlalaki or pambabae. So, I will discuss this briefly. Sexual orientation is this gender identity, expression, and sexual characteristic. Okay, sexual orientation refers to a person's physical, romantic, and or emotional attraction towards other persons. So if you are attracted to the person of the opposite sex, then you are a heterosexual. But if you are attracted to a person of the same sex, then you are homosexual. But if you are attracted to people of the same and different and the opposite sex, then you are a bisexual. But if you are attracted neither to persons of the same sex or opposite sex, then you are asexual. And we also have the term pansexual. You are attracted to anybody regardless of their sex. Okay, gender identity refers to the personal sense of a person's own gender. So, ito po yung how you identify yourself. So, if you were born as a male but you identify as a female, then you are a transgender or a trans woman. Nag-stop. Mia. Ayaw. Saan?
Dito ma'am, sa laptop.
Ayaw. Ano? I'm sorry, we have some technical difficulty. Can you click it for me? Okay, so gender expression refers to the external manifestation of a person's gender identity. So ito po yung nakikita sa mannerisms natin, sa kasuotan, at sa mga, the way we talk, no? So, and lastly, sex characteristics refers to the chromosomal, gonadal, and anatomical features of a person, which includes primary characteristics such as reproductive organs and genitalia, and or chromosomal structures and hormones, and secondary characteristics such as muscle mass, hair distribution, breast, and or structure. Okay, so we found out from statistics that 3 out of 5 women have experienced at least one form of sexual harassment. So this was before RA 11313. So the Bawal Bastos Law, or the towards any person perceived to or actually have experienced same-sex attraction. So itong example, bayot kadiri, kadiri ang mga bakla, no, or something like that. And we also have sexist remarks or slurs are statements in whatever form or however delivered that are indicative of prejudice, stereotyping, or discrimination on the basis of sex, typically against women. So mga babae, pangkaba lang yan. So that is an example of a sexist remark. Okay, we also have unwarranted invitations or persistent uninvited comments or gestures on a person's appearance. So ito yung example, tigang, minsan lupa, minsan ikaw, referring to a person. Okay, pwede rin yung relentless request for personal details such as name, contact, and social media details or destination. Meron din persistent telling of sexual jokes. So pag nagsa-sexual joke kayo, siguro pag first time, pwede pa yon. Pero pag persistent na, it could be a violation of the Safe Spaces Act. So mag-ingat po tayo. Use of sexual names, comments, any statement that has made an invasion on a person's space or threatens the person's sense of personal safety. So ito po yung penalties for the acts which I have mentioned. The first offense is 1,000 pesos and community service of 12 hours, inclusive of attendance to a gender sensitivity seminar. So meron pong penalty for second and third offense, pero hindi ko na po babanggitin. Okay, prescriptive penalties. Doon po sa mga binanggit kong acts, pag hindi po kayo nagsampa ng kaso within 1 year, prescribed na po yun. Okay, so there are other gender-based sexual harassment on streets and public spaces. Isa po dito ay public masturbation or flashing of private parts, groping, making offensive body gestures at someone, and other similar lewd sexual actions. So medyo self-explanatory na po to, so I will not explain. And then the penalty for the last acts which I have shown is for the first offense, it's punished by a fine of 10,000 and community service of 12 hours, inclusive of attendance to a gender sensitivity seminar. And the second offense, arresto menor, may kulong na po, 11 to 30 days or a fine of 15,000. And the third offense, arresto mayor, 1 month and 1 day and a fine of 20,000 pesos. Okay, so this one, ang prescriptive period po nito is 3 years. So pag hindi po kayo nag-file ng kaso within 3 years, hindi na po magpo-prosper yung kaso nyo. Okay, ito po iba, another level of gender-based sexual harassment. Stalking refers to conduct directed at a person involving the repeated visual or physical proximity, non-consensual communication, or a combination thereof that cause or will cause a person to fear for one's own safety or the safety of others, or to suffer emotional distress. So kung lagi kayong sinusundan, pinupunta kayo sa bahay, laging tinetext kayo or whatever, that is a form of stalking. So all the previous acts, yung mga una kong nabanggit, pag may kasama na pong touching, pinching, or bruising, brushing against the body of the offended person, or any touching, pinching, or brushing against the genitalia, face, arms, anus, groin, breast, inner thighs, face, buttocks, or any part of the victim's body, even without accompanied by the previous acts, mas mataas na po ang level ng penalty. So the first offense, arresto menor na po, 11 to 30 days imprisonment or a fine of 30,000. So syempre mas mataas po yung second and third offenses. Okay, ang prescriptive period po dito sa stalking and the ones which are involved touching, ang prescriptive period na po dito is 10 years. Okay, so nabanggit ko po na yung streets and public places, it involves restaurants, cafes, bars, and clubs, casinos, resorts, water parks, hotels, casinos, cinemas, malls, public places. So, yung any place which is open to the public, pwede pong magkaroon ng gender-based sexual harassment. So, ano po ang duties ng mga proprietor, owner, operator of these establishments? They have to adopt a zero-tolerance policy against gender-based streets and public places harassment. They are obliged to provide assistance to victims of gender-based sexual harassment by coordinating with the local police immediately after the sexual harassment is reported, and they may make the CCTV footage available when ordered by the court. Or they also have to provide a safe, gender-sensitive environment to encourage victims to report sexual harassment at the first instance. They shall install in their businesses clear, visible warning signs against sexual harassment, including anti-sexual harassment hotline numbers. Or they shall designate at least one anti-sexual harassment officer to receive complaints. And the security guards are deputized by this law to apprehend perpetrators caught in flagrante delicto or caught in the act. What if a GBSH is committed in a public utility vehicle? So, addition to the penalties in the act, the LTO may cancel the license of the perpetrator found to have committed acts constituting sexual harassment in PUVs. The LTFRB may suspend or revoke the franchise of the transportation operators who commit SH. And SH in PUVs, where the perpetrator is the driver, it shall also cause a breach of contract of carriage, and the driver and the owner can be solely liable for the offense. Or what if the GBSH is committed by a minor? So the DSWD shall take the necessary disciplinary measures as provided for under RA 9344, the Juvenile Justice and Welfare Act of 2006. So, ano po ang dapat gawin? In all cases, you can report to the LGU. You can go to the nearest police precinct, to the Women and Children's Protection Desk. You can report to the local Social Welfare and Development Office. You can go to the Public Attorney's Office. And if for SH, which is committed in streets and public places, you can go to the local traffic enforcer. For against the driver, the operator, to the local traffic enforcer, LTO or LTFRB. If it happens in close proximity to the LGU hall, to the ASH desk officer of the LGU. And for malls, bars, public establishment, to the ASH officer designated by the operator of the establishment. Okay, so another form of sexual harassment occurs online or on cyberspace. So ito siguro, yung mga young ones, medyo makikita nyo to. So includes acts that use information and communication technology in terrorizing and intimidating victims. So 7 out of 10 girls and young women have experienced online harassment. So, how are they committed? The first one is to physical, psychological, and emotional threats through unwanted, sexual, misogynistic, transphobic, homophobic, and sexist remarks and comments online, whether publicly or through direct and private messages. So invasion of victims' privacy through cyber-stalking and incessant messaging. Ito pong cyber-stalking, kailangan po ng incessant messaging. Hindi lang yung, siguro, hindi lang pwedeng one time. And then, uploading and sharing without the consent of the victim any form of media that contains photos, voice, or video with sexual content. Ito po yung mga samples ng gender-based sexual harassment, bullying someone for online behavior that is outside of common gender stereotypes, body shaming, embarrassing someone for the way their body looks, pornography, sharing online pornography, whether as a link or as an image, homophobic language, using offensive homophobic language, sexting, sending a nude or nearly nude image of a peer to others, photo editing photos to make them sexual or gendered. Example, adding emojis on a photo that is to represent sexual body parts. Okay, GPOSH is also committed through any unauthorized recording and sharing of any of the victims' photos, videos, or any information online, impersonating identities of victims online or posting lies about victims to harm their reputation, filing false abuse reports to online platforms to silence victims. So we have to emphasize that there has to be a sexual element to the posting online. So meron din po to catfish is to assume a false identity to trick individuals into emotional or romantic relationships, usually over a long period. Alam niyo na yun, yung mga may nagte-text sa'yo, magpipicture ng gwapo, hindi naman pala sila yun, manliligaw online. So yun po yung mga example doon. Okay, and revenge porn. Revealing of sexually explicit images or videos of a person posted on the internet, typically by a former sexual partner without the consent of the subject and in order to cause them distress or embarrassment. Okay, what are the penalties? For natural persons, the penalty is prison correctional or 6 months and 1 day to 6 years and a fine of not less than 100,000. For juridical persons or corporations, there could be a revocation of the license. And the officers, the editor or reporter in the case of print media or the station manager, editor, and broadcaster in the case of broadcast media can also become liable. An alien is subject to deportation after service of the sentence and payment of fine. Also, what is the prescriptive period for gender-based sexual harassment online? It is imprescriptible. As you know, pag na-post sa internet, it is forever. So the prescriptive period is also imprescriptible. So kahit kailan. Kasi yung pictures nyo or videos nyo, pwedeng nasa internet for the longest time. Okay, what are practical tips to report cases of GPO sexual harassment? It is best to secure digital evidence. So, maghanap kayo ng ebidensya, no? You can look at the Uniform Resource Locator or URL of the web address of the website or social media account of the perpetrator. And then you can take screenshots and make a printout of the content being complained of. And then you can contact the PNP's Anti-Cybercrime Group e-complaint desk. I can give you the link. And you can also complain to the website where the content has been published. Okay, so what is qualified gender-based streets, public spaces, and online harassment? Ito po yung mas mataas ang penalty. Okay. The penalty next higher in degree will be applied in the following cases. Kung yung sexual harassment nangyari po sa common carrier or public utility vehicle, including but not limited to jeepneys, taxis, tricycles, or app-based transportation network vehicle services, where the perpetrator is the driver of the vehicle and the offended party is the passenger, ang penalty po niya ay next higher degree. Ito po yung ibang cases na mas mataas po ang penalty. If the offended party is a minor, a senior citizen, or a person with disability, or a breastfeeding mother nursing her child. Or if the offended party is diagnosed with a mental problem lending to impaired consent. If the perpetrator is a member of the uniformed services, such as the PNP and the Armed Forces of the Philippines, and the act was perpetrated while the perpetrator was in uniform, mas mataas din po ang penalty. And if the act takes place in the premises of a government agency offering frontline services to the public, and the perpetrator is a government employee, the penalty is higher, of course. Okay, so we go to the third place where gender-based sexual harassment occurs, and this is in the workplace. Previously, under RA 67877, ang sexual harassment po ay nakocommit ng person with moral ascendancy or power. For example, the employer or a superior as against a subordinate. Pero nag-iba na po yan sa Safe Spaces Act or in the Bawal Bastos Law. So, a workplace includes all sites, locations, spaces where work is being undertaken by an employee within or outside the premises of the usual place of business of the employer. The crime of gender-based sexual harassment may also be committed between peers and those committed by a superior officer, to a superior officer by a subordinate. So ngayon, kung ako yung employee, pwedeng i-sexually harass ko yung boss ko, tapos siya din ang pwedeng magsampa ng sexual harassment case against me. Tapos pwede na rin yung magka-level kayo, colleague to colleague, pwede rin magkaroon ng sexual harassment under the Safe Spaces Act na wala dun sa dating batas, which was 7888, Republic Act 7877. So ano po yung gender-based sexual harassment in the workplace? An act or series of acts involving any unwelcome sexual advances, requests or demand for sexual favors, or any act of sexual nature that has or could have a detrimental effect on the condition of an individual's employment or education, job performance, or opportunities. Pwede rin po conduct of sexual nature and other conduct based on sex affecting the dignity of a person which is unwelcome, unreasonable, and offensive to the recipient, whether done verbally, physically, or through the use of technology such as text messaging or electronic mail or through any other forms of information and communication systems. So in letter C, a conduct that is unwelcome and pervasive and creates an intimidating, hostile, or humiliating environment for the recipient. Okay, so what are the duties of employers? Employers or other persons of authority, influence, or moral ascendancy in a workplace shall have the duty to prevent, deter, or punish the performance of acts of gender-based sexual harassment in the workplace. Towards this end, the employer, person of authority, influence, or moral ascendancy shall do the following: disseminate or post in a conspicuous place a copy of this act, the Safe Spaces Act, to all persons in the workplace. They should provide measures to prevent gender-based sexual harassment in the workplace, such as the conduct of anti-sexual harassment seminars. They should create an independent internal mechanism or a committee on decorum and investigation, CODI, to investigate and address complaints of gender-based sexual harassment, which shall adequately represent the management, the employees from the supervisory rank, the rank and file employees, and the union, if any.
Ayun na naman. Ayaw na naman. Sama. Dali.
Pardon me, nagkakaroon po ng technical difficulty. Okay, so they should designate a woman as the head of the CODI, and not less than half of its members should be women. Be composed of members who should be impartial and not connected or related to the alleged perpetrator. And the CODI should investigate and decide on the complaints within 10 days or less upon receipt thereof. They should observe due process and protect the complainant from retaliation and guarantee confidentiality to the greatest extent possible. They should provide and disseminate in consultation with all persons in the workplace a code of conduct or workplace policy which shall expressly reiterate the prohibition on gender-based sexual harassment, describe the procedures of the internal mechanisms created under Section 17 of this Act, and set administrative penalties. Okay, I will not go into this na kasi hindi masyadong relevant sa inyo. I will proceed to the next part where involving gender-based sexual harassment in educational and training institutions. Okay, but before I end the workplace, there are duties of employees and co-workers to refrain from committing acts of gender-based sexual harassment, discourage the conduct of gender-based sexual harassment in the workplace, provide emotional or social support to fellow employees, co-workers, colleagues, or peers who are victims of gender-based sexual harassment, and report acts of gender-based sexual harassment witnessed in the workplace. Okay, I will go to the last portion, which is gender-based sexual harassment in educational and training institutions. So who can be a victim of gender-based sexual harassment? It could be students or school personnel. And what is the offense? Gender-based sexual harassment and online harassment. So where is this committed? In public or private school premises. So aside from criminal liability, minor students who are found to have committed acts of gender-based sexual harassment shall also be held liable for administrative sanctions by the school as stated in their school handbook. So dito po, pwedeng ang complainant ay estudyante, ang offender ay estudyante din. Ngayon, ang victim, pwede ring teacher as against another teacher, pero posible din po ang offender ay estudyante at ang victim ay teacher, no? Kasi that is already covered by the Safe Spaces Act. What should every school do in case there is a sexual harassment incident? The school should adopt and publish a grievance procedure to facilitate the filing of complaints by students and faculty members. Even if an individual does not want to file a complaint or not request that the school take any action, and school authorities have knowledge or reasonably have knowledge about a possible or impending act of gender-based sexual harassment or sexual violence, the school should promptly investigate to determine the veracity of such information or knowledge and the circumstances under which the act of gender-based sexual harassment or sexual violence were committed and take appropriate steps to resolve the situation. I think there will be another speaker who will discuss how the spaces reporting mechanism is done in Bicol University. Or what should every school do in case there is an incident? If a school knows or reasonably should know about acts of gender-based sexual harassment or sexual violence being committed that creates a hostile environment, the school must take immediate action to eliminate the same acts, prevent their recurrence, and address their effects. So, isang example po, ang University of the Philippines, they have adopted an anti-sexual harassment code. So, once a perpetrator is found guilty in an educational institution, the institution may reserve the right to strip the diploma from the perpetrator or issue an expulsion order. Okay, the Committee on Decorum and Investigation of the school should address gender-based sexual harassment and online sexual harassment in accordance with the rules and procedures contained in their Cody Manual. Of course, at any stage of the investigation, prosecution and trial of an offense under this act, the rights of the victim and the accused shall be recognized. So kailangan ng confidentiality. Kasi syempre, everyone is still presumed innocent until proven guilty. And pwede rin pong kumuha ng restraining order ang isang victim. The court, even before rendering a final decision, may issue an order directing the perpetrator to stay away from the offended person at a distance specified by the court, or to stay away from the residence, school, place of employment, or any specified place frequented by the offended person. Okay, so idadagdag ko lang, ito na po yung last slide ko. Under Section 38, the imposition of penalties outlined under Republic Act 11313 is without prejudice to any administrative sanction that may be imposed if the perpetrator is a government employee. So yun lang po. Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am.
Sa mic. Yun na lang. Ayan. So, thank you, Atty. Cruz, for shedding light on such an important issue. So, thank you so much, Attorney. So, ayan. I think before we proceed, Ma'am Sarah, magkaroon muna tayo ng icebreaker. We need to break some ice naman ngayon before we proceed, syempre.
Sa lumig.
Okay. So, ayan. Gusto niyo mag-ice ng icebreaker? Yan. Para naman syempre, we have some entertainment and exciting na mga prizes.
Yes.
Actually, nag-icebreaker na kami kanina, pero ngayon we have more.
Yes, you
premium
want
prize.
more? Bring me ulit, bring me.
Bring me. So we have now our Bring Me Safe Space Edition.
Yes.
So ayan, bababa po ako and prepare yourselves for our Bring Me.
Yes,
So,
what's
ayan,
the
let's
first
go.
item, Joffrey? Habang bumababa si Joffrey sa floor.
Para interactive, di ba?
Or
So,
first,
ayan.
bring me, Joffrey.
Sige.
Bring me anything purple. Bigay kay Joffrey anything.
Bring me anything purple! Ayan! Ay, ganda. Ang ganda ng case. Ayan, we have two winners, Ma'am Sarah. Ayan, we have purple case, and we have purple lanyard. Ayan. Sige, interviewin muna natin ang ating participants sa game. So, ikaw muna, kuya. What's your name?
Ivan po.
Ivan. So, from what college?
Kolehiyo ng Arte at Letra.
Shoutout po naman mga from Cal.
Shoutout sa mga taga-kolehiyo ng Arte at Letra!
Oh, ayan. Sige, thank you so much. And you, ate?
Aji po.
Aji from?
College of Social Sciences and Philosophy.
A shoutout. I'm from CSSP.
Shoutout po sa lahat ng taga-CSSP and mga psych.
No psych from CSSP. So, i-prepare na ang ating prizes. Ushers,
Yes.
pabigay na sa ating mga winners ang prizes. Ayan. We have this from Senate God, Ma'am Sarah.
Congratulations.
Okay, sige, pabigay na po, juries, sa mga ano natin. Ayan, thank you very much, juries. Si ate... Juries.
Isa pa.
Isa pa.
Ate, isa pa.
Juries. Be.
Isa pang prize.
One more. Isa pa.
Okay, congratulations.
Ilan pang pag... Dalawa na. Oo. Sabi ni ma'am. Sige na. Ha? Sige na.
Okay, next, bring me. Okay,
Ayan.
Geoffrey.
Sige, bigay na ang ating prize. Medyo na-delay lang, Ma'am Sarah. Okay, sige, thank you so much. Thank you so much po. Thank you so much, ate.
Okay, next, bring
Ito ang
me.
phone. And...
Eto, medyo may twist tayo. So, bring me a person, or kung ikaw mismo, if your name is Angela. Ay, ang bilis!
Ayan na. So, gabi nangyayari dito. Yes, yun na una. Ilang winners natin? Ang dami pala.
Sorry guys,
Sino ang nauna? Sino ang nauna, Ma'am Sarah?
sige, tatlo na lang sila.
Sino ang nauna?
Ate,
Grabe na aksidente. Sige. So, sige. Paano tayo, Ma'am Sarah? Ilan na winners? Okay, sige. Pakilala ang ating Angela, Angel, or Angelo. Sige. Ikaw, ate? What's your name?
my full name is Maria Gabriel Angela.
Wow, Angela. Sige. Ikaw, ate?
Paula Angela T. Pimentel po.
Paula Angela. And si ate?
My name is Johanna Angela Enariola.
Wow, si Angela ulit.
Ate nalalag niya si Angela.
Ay, ikaw ang nagbigay. Okay.
Ate, apat.
Sige. Sige. So we have our Angela here. So hi naman kayo kay Angela. I-greet ko si Angela. Hi, Angela. Super dami yung mga Angela natin. So mga prizes para sa ating mga Angela. So,
Sino nakakaalam bakit Angela?
ayan, i-explain ni Ma'am
Any
Sarah kung
trivia?
ano importance ng
Any
Angela.
trivia? Did you know that Angela is a safe word? Anyone? Well, sabi, the Angela is a well-known international safety initiative often used in bars, clubs, or public places. So parang kapag cue na narinig na where is Angela or ask for Angela, that person is in need for help kasi that person might be in sexual harassment case or she is being sexually harassed. Yun yung ano nun. Parang we can start in Bicol University na pag sinabing, not particular with the three Angelas here in front, pero pwedeng ask for Angela. Parang code yun, internationally accepted, na kapag narinig nyo where is Angela or ask for Angela, it means someone is in need for help. Yan. But
So,
thank you
yeah.
so much.
Yeah, sige. Thank you so much, Ma'am, for that trivia. And thank you so much, our Angelas of Bicol University. Ayan,
Thank
thank you
you.
so much.
So Geoffrey, back to
Sige
our
po. Balik
program.
tayo sa stage.
So at this point, Geoffrey, let's zoom in the ground situation, particularly here in Albay. Okay, so our next subject matter expert or presenter is a graduate of bachelor's degree in business administration, major in legal management at the Ateneo de Naga University. She joined the Philippine Bar in May 2022. She is a graduate of Public Safety Officers Basic Course of the Philippine National Police Training Institute in May 2023. So recently lang, bata pa si ma'am. She is known for her commitment to upholding justice, discipline, and the rule of law within the organization. She has been actively engaged in police legal work, providing sound legal guidance on administrative and operational matters and promoting through observance of due process among PNP personnel. Please welcome, ladies and gentlemen, Police Captain Attorney Kimberly M. Banse Gonzalez, the legal officer, the Regional Legal Region 5.
Mahina na or? Okay naman. Ano ko na lang, ipapast track na lang. Sige pa. So magandang umaga po sa ating lahat. Good morning! First of all, nakikita niyo ba ako? Ayan. So, I am very happy that I am here today to share with you kung ano ba talaga itong batas na ito. So, kanina, na-explain na ni Madam Attorney kung ano talaga yung context nitong Safe Spaces Act. So, ako naman, dadagdagan ko lang yung paliwanag ni Madam Attorney. So, ano po ang idadagdag ko? If, hindi naman natin hinihingi pero if there will be an instance in the future na tayo po ay magiging victim, ano po ba yung pwede nating gawin? Ano po? So, again, mga kapatid, mga ka-height ko lang kayo, di ba? Baka yung iba nga dyan mas matangkad pa sa akin. Ano po? So, nagkakaroon kasi ng contention pag ako yung nagtutok, ang sabi nila, bakit daw nag-hire si PNP ng bata? O, di ba? Sabi, child labor daw si PNP. Sabi ko, hindi naman. It so happened that I look like this. O, diba? Hindi ko naman siguro kasalanan, diba? Na ako ay ganito lang. Yung height ko ay ganito lang. Ano po? So, to share a bit of my experience in the organization, when I was applying, alam nyo, napaka-prone ko sa mga discrimination. Bakit? Given yung height ko, given yung itsura ko, I am always napagkakamalang bata. Ayan. Pero nai-enjoy ko din naman siya on the other hand kasi na-avail ko yung discount. O, diba? Ayan. Sabi ng jeepney driver when I was on board a jeepney, masain ka? Sabi ko, sa sentro lang tabi kang Legazpi. Tapos sabi na, estudyante ka ngayon ni. Sabi ko, iyo tabi, estudyante po. O, diba? Ayan. So, na-enjoy ko yung discount, yung 20% discount. Pero siyempre, nakukonsensya rin naman ako, no? Sabi ko, ay kuya, hindi na ako estudyante. In fact, I am already married and I have 2 kids. Hindi lang halata, diba? Kaya, when I was pregnant, ang sabi sa akin, dahil ngayon nagtapos ng pagklase. Nagpaagom tulos ngaya, nagpabadus pati tulos ngaya, nagpabuntis daw po ako agad. At hindi daw ako nagtapos ng pag-aaral ko. O diba? Sabi ko, sige, okay lang. Hindi mo naman ako kilala, no? But then again, when I look myself in the mirror, oo nga naman. Sabi ko ganon. Yung anak ko tuloy, hanggang dito na sa akin. Sabi ko, baka ako grade 1 pa lang to, o grade 6, mas matangkad pa sa akin. Tapos hindi ako mapagkamala na ako yung mama niya, but then ako yung younger sister niya. O, diba? Kaya sabi ko, there is also an advantage and disadvantage itong itsura kong ito. Ano po? Kaya sabi ko, I am contemplating, sa totoo lang, ano po? Ano kaya ako isusuot ko today? Sabi kong ganon. Kasi, syempre, magle-lecture ako, di ba, mga ma'am, sir, at sa ating mga students. Sabi ko, baka mapagkamalan akong estudyante. Baka sabihan naman ako, duman ka mag-register. O, di ba? Baka sabihan, nasaan na nga yan si taga-PNP, taga-Rumayo pa. Nasaan na yung taga-PNP? Bakit wala pa? Late na. Yun pala, ako. O, diba? Kaya sabi ko, sige, kahit na medyo nagdadalawang isip talaga ako, sabi ko, sige, mag-uniform na ako para ako, kilala nila ako agad. Ano po? So, ayan ha. Huwag kayong matakot sa akin ha. Hindi ako manghuhuli. Hindi. I am here to explain to you kung ano yung dapat natin gawin pag tayo ay naka-encounter ng ganitong problema in the future. Ano po? So ipalayo natin sana. Ano po? Huwag naman sanang mangyari sa inyo. Pero kung sakaling mangyari sa inyo, alam nyo kung ano yung dapat nyong gawin. Ano po? Naririnig niyo ako? Yan, para lang akong nagko-concert, no? Yes, rock and roll. Oh, ayan. So, sabi ko nga, Safe Spaces Act. Tanungin ko kayo, mga taga-Busit, is Albay safe for you? Ano sa tingin niyo? Safe ba kayo dito? Ano, parang oo, hindi, maybe. Ano ba, safe ba kayo o hindi? Pag sinabi kong safe, yung safe kayo na kahit kayo nasa labas, you will not be prone to these offenses stated under gender-based sexual harassment. Yun ang ibig kong sabihin. Kasi karamihan sa ating mga estudyante ay commuters. Tama po? Diba? I was once a student too, and I am a commuter as well. Kaya, alam ko ang experiences nyo. Ano? Napagdaanan ko rin yan. Estudyante rin ako before. Pero ngayon, sa trabaho ko, hindi na talaga ako pwede mag-commute. Kasi pag mag-commute ako, malilate ako. Diba? Baka yung re-respondehan ko tapos na, ako wala pa. Ano po? So, ayan. Ay, ayaw niya makikooperate. Ano yun? Sir, ma'am, ayan, gumalaw na siya. So, pasensya na ha, first time ko gumamit nito. Kasi nasanay ako ng IT, next please. Nasanay ako ng ganon. Wala akong clicker. So, bibili ako nito. It is very useful for me. So, pag sinabi natin na Safe Spaces Act, ito yung feeling natin na kayo ay safe kahit kayo ay nasa labas. Ano po? Itong batas na ito, create po ito para hindi tayo makaramdam ng takot habang tayo ay nasa labas. Ano po? So alam naman natin, may 4 na klase ng gender-based sexual harassment at na-discuss na yon ni Madam Attorney kanina. So ako, may emphasis lang po ako doon sa discussion ni Madam. Ano po? Ayan. So, ito po yung tinatawag nating mga public places. Pero saan ba kami malimit makareceive ng mga complaints? Dito sa public spaces na to. Saan po ba? Malimit kami makareceive ng complaints saan? Transportation terminals and public utility vehicles. Saan pa? Private vehicles, itong TNVS, a few kasi meron na po tayong TNVS dito sa Bicol Region. Meron na po tayo ditong Grab. Ano po? Pero hindi lang talaga siya ganoon kagamit na gamit katulad sa NCR, pero meron po tayo ditong TNVS. May Grab po tayo dito. Saan pa? Public utility vehicles. Sa mga malls and public markets, evacuation center. Alam niyo naman siguro yung balita, di ba? Yung 6 na taong nahuli sa evacuation center. Na ano yung ginagawa? They are doing the sexual act in the evacuation center. Di ba? So, dyan po kami malimit makareceive ng complaints sa mga areas na yan. So, sa tingin niyo bakit? Kasi nandiyan po yung ating foot traffic. Lahat naman yan, malaki ang foot traffic natin dyan. Pero yung pinaka-center ng mga complaints na nare-receive namin ay dyan po sa transportation terminals, common carriers, private vehicles, yung sa TNVS, public utility vehicles, and other public space, considered as public space. Meron po niyan dati nireklamo sa amin. Dumaan yung estudyante. Medyo gabi na po kasi nun, mga alas 7:30. Ngayon, while that particular student was walking, there is a man sitting in the waiting shed. Alam niyo po kung ano yung ginagawa ng lalaki? So, ito po ay idinemo lang sa akin ng bata. So, high school po kasi yung bata, around 3rd year high school. Ngayon, ang nangyari po, sabi niya, dumadaan po ako ma'am kasi pasakay na ako ng tricycle pauwi sa amin. Ang nakita niya daw is yung lalaki nakatingin sa kanya na parang, alam niyo yun, yung parang tingin na may pagnanasa. Ganon. Tapos alam niyo kung ano yung ginagawa ng lalaki? He was touching his male reproductive organ. And he was sitting in the waiting shed and doing like this. Sabi niya, parang ito po, parang hinihimas niya with a push and pull movement yung kanyang male reproductive organ na nakatingin doon sa 3rd year high school student. And that student felt that she is not safe. So, paano ko nalaman yon? Na timing po kasi na ako yung naka-duty doon sa particular station at meron po kaming mobile patrol unit. Yung mga nag-iikot po, may outpost. Yung bata tumakbo doon sa outpost. Tapos ang sabi niya, Sir, meron po kasi doong lalaki. Yung nakatingin siya sa akin, tapos yung ginagawa niya is, yun na nga. Paano ba ang term niyan sa Bicol or sa Tagalog o sa English na lang para hindi masyadong nagmamasturbate yung lalaki na nakatingin doon sa batang babae. So that is the waiting shed is considered as a public place, 'di ba? So parang kung ako yun, I tried to put myself in the shoes of that student. Ay kung ako ata yun, kumaripas talaga ako ng takbo. Talaga naman, I will not feel safe because of what? I am being used as an object of desire. Eh syempre, ano ba naman ang laban ko doon, di ba? Lalaki yon. Alam niyo naman na mas malalakas ang lalaki kesa sa babae. Hindi naman ako kasing lakas ni Heidelin Diaz, no? Hindi naman ako nag-weightlift, o di ba? Pero gusto ko maging weightlifting fairy. Di ba? So, si Kim Bokjo, malay niyo, di ba? So, kakain din ako ng maraming sangyup. Di ba? Pero parang hindi bagay sa akin maging weightlifter. So, ayan. Naging attorney na lang nga ako kasi at least, kahit walang talent, attorney man daw. Gano'n na lang. Ayan. So, ano pa? Saan pa kami malimit maka-receive ng ng mga complaints? Maliban sa public dito sa transportation terminals. Ano pa? Malimit na malimit, very recent lang, kaming nakaka-receive ng complaints ng online sexual harassment. Paano ba nangyayari ang online sexual harassment? Usually, usong-uso ang mga memes sa Facebook, di ba? And other social media sites. So, uso-uso yung mga memes na yan. Alam niyo naman yan, di ba? Pag meron kayong nakitang meme, alam niyo na classmate niyo, uy, si to? Di ba? Parang bagay na bagay to kay di ba? Ang gagawin niyo, isi-send niyo doon sa class group chat at itatag niyo yung classmate niyo na yon. Di ba? Example, meron meme na alam niyo yung Pigrolac, pagkain ng baboy, di ba? So, Pigrolac is a brand of animal feeds. Ngayon, ang sabi kasi ni Pigrolac, meron siyang kanta, di ba? Yung dahil minsan lang sila bata, di ba? Ang meaning, yung mga biik naglalaro, tapos may inahing baboy. Meron silang classmate na gano'n ang itsura. Ang ginawa, sinend sa group chat, tinag yung classmate, uy, ikaw to, laking Pigrolac ka. Diba? That is very offensive on that person. Na ikinompare ka saan? Sa lactating na baboy. Diba? So, that is a form of online sexual harassment. Kasi, inaano yung pagiging mataba mo, di ba? Tapos ang sabi, inahing baboy ka, di ibig sabihin babae. Di ba po? And then what's worse is what? It is being committed online. So paano pag ganon? Paano kayo magko-complain pag ganon? May isa pa ako na-handle na case. Off the record na lang pero grabe siya. Hindi ko kinaya, ma'am. Kasi ganito ang nangyari. Usong-uso ngayon yung mga cheating issues. Tama? Ellen Adarna and Derek Ramsey. Pero hindi naman to pang ganong caliber. Pang ano lang to? Pang Bicolandia caliber lang to. So ano ang nangyari? Ganito ang nangyari. Mayroong mag-asawa. O, di ba story time, may mag-asawa. Ngayon, si asawang lalaki, kasi poging-pogi siya sa sarili niya, meron siyang number 2. Si number 2, inireklamo si number 1. Oh, saan ka nakakita nun? Yung number 2, malakas ang loob. Inireklamo si number 1. Oh, di ba? Alam niyo kung bakit inireklamo? Kasi allegedly, ganito daw yung ginawa ni number 1. Take note, the number 1 is the legal wife, ha? Ang number 2 ay ang, alam niyo na, basta. Ang ginawa daw kasi ni number 1 ganito. Nag-post daw doon sa Facebook group nung subdivision kung saan nakatira si number 2. Oh, alam niyo kung ano ang nakalagay sa post. May picture, ha? May picture ng babae. Ito yung caption. Kung sino ang nakakakilala sa kanya, ipagbigay alam niyo sa akin kasi may atraso siya sa akin. Oh, pero take note, ha? Walang pangalan kung sino yung nasa picture. At ang sabi lang sa caption, kung sino ang nakakakilala sa kanya, ay ipagbigay alam daw doon kay number 1, ay kay number 2, kasi, kay number 1 pala, kasi may atraso daw sa kanya. Ngayon, ang ginawa ni number 2, inireklamo si number 2 kung saan siya nagtatrabaho. Kung saan nagtatrabaho si number 1, doon niya inireklamo. Finailan niya ng admin case. Oh, ano yung i-final? Ano daw? Grave misconduct on the ground na nag-commit daw siya ng cyber libel. Cyber libel. Wow, big word, 'di ba? Oh, sabi ko na big word. Kahit ako, sobrang big, I cannot carry it, 'di ba? Ganon. So, sabi ko, cyber libel. Sige, paano ako naging cyber libel yon? Wala namang pangalan. Wala namang intent to demean the person's credibility. Yes, it was posted in the group, but the group has a limited number of members. Diba? So, yan kasi ang elements. Ayan, tuturuan ko na kayo, ha? Kaya kung yung mga boyfriend nyo, may anik-anik dyan. This is what to do. Ha? I'll teach you what to do and you thank me later. Ayan. Ganito, ha? So, ang ginawa kasi, ang isinabit ng number 2 ay lahat screenshot ng convo ng mga friends niya na nagsasabi na, si ganito yan. Nakita ko yan. Ito quote and unquote na lang to, ha? Nakita ko yan na sumakay sa car. Ang car ay gumagalaw. Sex in the car ba? Saan yan nakalagay? Sa private message at saan? Sa comment section. Diba? Tapos, meron pang isang nag-comment. Ano yung sabi ng nag-comment? Uy, si ano bagayan? Agong bagayan ni ano? Ang asawa niyan ay nasa abroad. Diba? Alam niyo kung sino yung nag-supply ng information? Yung mga netizens. Sabi ko, ang dami ng concern sa love triangle nitong mag-asawang ito. Tinignan ko yung lalaki, yung itsura ng lalaki. Parang ewan ko, ha? Hindi ko alam, ha? Hindi naman ako judgmental. I am not a judge. Hindi ako judgmental kasi hindi ako judge. Pero base lang sa aking appreciation, Basta, hindi ko alam. Habi kong gano'n. Yung babae, ang itsura niya, maganda yung asawa. Siyempre, hindi ka ako napipili ng pangit, di ba? Wala naman ka akong pipili ng pangit, sabi ko sa kanya. Ngayon, ito kasing si number 2, ang itsura ganito. Sino ang pumapasok dito sa bangko? Lahat ba kayo may bank account? Yes, mayaman kayo di ba? Ayan. So, alam nyo ang itsura ng teller sa bangko. Di ba? Ang mga teller sa bangko, ano? Naka-highlights ang hair, di ba? Maputi. Naka-iPhone 14. I know, iPhone, ano na ba? 17 Pro Max. Fully paid. Oh, tama? And, ano pa? Ang relo. Ang relo niya, Michael Kors. Oh, di ba? Alam ko talaga, no? Kasi, I checked. And then, I saw it in my own 2 eyes. Nagharap ang number 2 at number 1. Ako ang lawyer ni number 1. Oh, di ba? Parang ako naman, yung gigil ko, nandun kay number 1. Sabi ko, sige, iti-technical natin yan. Saan natin yan iti-technical? Sa ebidensya niya. Oh, di ba? Kasi sabi ko, hindi, feel na feel ko yung problem mo. I sympathize with you. Sabi ko ganon. Kasi what if ako din yung nasa kalagayan niya? Pero sabi ko, hindi naman too much na talagang affected ako sa case. Hindi. Kasi ganito, ang ginawa kasi ni number 2, nag-attach siya ng screenshots. Lahat print. Diba? Lahat print. Sige, okay. May affidavit of complaint. Pero ano ang nangyari? Pagdating namin, doon nag-hearing na kami. Sabi ko, all your electronic evidences must be authenticated. That is part of the rules on electronic evidence. Sabi kong ganon, parang siya ganon na Kasi wala siyang lawyer. Kasi akala niya daw, magkikwentuhan lang kami. Ay, hindi! Sabi ko, this is a hearing. You should bring with you your counsel. Sabi kong ganon. Pero sabi ko, in a nice way, dapat ka ako, ma'am, you have an attorney. Tapos nagtatanong na ako. Sabi ko, do you admit that you have an illicit affair with the husband of the respondent? Thus, the screenshots say so. Sabi niya, parang hindi siya makasagot. Kasi pag nagsabi siya ng yes, inadmit niya na siya ay kabit. Diba? Parang sabi ko, o sige, you deny because you don't know the truth. Deny ka na lang kasi hindi mo alam kung may illicit affair ka. Okay na yan. Ngayon, ang nangyari ganito. Yung screenshot kasi galing sa cellphone ng kanyang mga closest friends. As a rule, makinig kayo. Alam ko ang power of screenshot. Napakalakas. Tama? May ebidensya ako. May resibo ako. Diba? Screenshot. Diba? Ang bilis na lang pati ngayon mag-screenshot. Tama? Sino yung mga naka-iPhone dito? Bilis mag-screenshot niyan. Lalo na pag fully paid. Diba? Pero pag installment, medyo mabagal. Kasi installment. Diba? Ayan. So, pag screenshot kasi, paano nyo yan ino-authenticate? Kailangan nyong isubmit yung phone kung saan galing yung screenshot sa cybercrime unit ni PNP. So, ano ang gagawin? The phone will undergo a digital forensic examination. So, ano yung digital forensic examination? Big word, diba? Parang ako din, wow, forensic. O diba, ang iniisip ko agad sa forensic, patay. Diba? Nag-check ng patay, diba? Sabi ko ganon, oh my gosh. Pero marami palang function si forensic, diba? The fingerprint, the lie detector, mga ganyan, polygraph, marami silang ganyan. So, pag sinabi nating digital forensic examination, i-extract yung laman ng cellphone nyo. Kaya kahit yan deleted, alam namin yan. Wala kang maitatago. Diba? So, ganun yun. Okay? Ayan. So, ay, si Madam. Nandito na si Madam. I'll stop for a bit, ha? Ayan. Continue, okay. Ayan. So, pa-continue daw ako. Ganun po, ha? You will submit the phone. But before you submit the phone, kailangan niyo munang mag-file ng complaint saan? Sa station, sa police station. You go to the nearest police station and then isabi niyo yung complaint niyo sa desk officer. But since ang complaint natin is online sexual harassment, it will be directly coursed through to the Women and Children Protection Division or Protection Desk of the Philippine National Police. So kung ako ba ang mag-i-interview sa inyo, tatanungin ko kayo, ano po kasi nangyari? Magsasabi kayo sa akin ng totoo. Hindi mo sure, o diba? Baka ganun ang sabihin niyo. So ganyan, bakit sa WCPD? Hindi po kasi pwedeng mag-handle ng complaints yung ating mga normal investigators, lalo na mga lalaking investigators. Ano po? Given the confidentiality and the sensitivity of the matter, dapat po ang nag-handle niyan ay WCPD or the Women and Children Protection Desk or Division of the PNP. Sa station po, meron tayo niyan. So ano po ang ginagawa dyan? Meron po yung kwarto, doon po kayo pupunta kasama yung aming mga female investigators. Take note, ang amin pong mga female investigators are well-trained because they undergo WCPD specialized courses. Hindi po sila basta-basta nagiging WCPD investigator nang wala po silang proper training. So hindi lang po sila nagtitraining sa PNP, nagtitraining pa din po sila saan? Sa aming mga affiliate agencies like the DILG, the DOJ, and other agencies concerned. Ano po? So, yan, online sexual harassment sa mga messaging apps and social media. Ano pa? Nude gestures in the terminals. Yan na nga po, sa ating mga public terminals and markets at lalo na sa crowded areas. So, pag mga ganyan, may mga senaryo kaming nababalitaan sa rally, merong groping incident. Ayan. So, alam niyo naman yung groping, di ba? Yung tatabi sa inyo. Tapos, ang gagawin, he will like parang get close to you and then he will make you feel that his body part is somewhat like erected. Ganon. Parang tatabi sa inyo, gaganyan-ganyanin kayo or kung ano pa man. Diba? So, meron po niyan na kaming na-handle na complaint wherein sa isang recreational center, ang nangyari po, merong assistant na parang sila po yung in charge para sabihin na nating ATV ride. Parang sila yung nag-a-assist na mag-drive ng ATV. Ang nangyari, nagka-groping incident. Kasi di ba, ikaw na nagda-drive na sa harap. Yung nagtuturo sa iyo nasa likod. So ang nangyari is parang nag-lean forward, parang ganon. Or parang inusog masyado yung ano, parang inapakan yung preno, ganon. So, ang tendency na pag ganon yung babae, yung lalaki sa likod niya ay talagang sub-sub to the point na talagang na-feel ng babae yung kanyang male body part. Yan. So, ganon na, mga ano yan na, mga common ano yan. Usong-uso yan sa bus. Diba? Pag last trip na. Diba? So, sasabit na ako kasi last trip na. Kahit dikit, ganon, diba? Oh. So, ayan. Ako kasi, mga ma'am, sir, sabi ko nga yung height ko, di ba? When I was with my husband, we rode the MRT, hindi ko abot. Sabi ko kay husband ko, hawak ako sa'yo. Tapos, yung namang husband ko kasi nakakatawa, tinakpan yung ilong ko. Akala nung katabi namin, may body odor siya, gumano kanyang kilikili. O, di ba? Kaya sabi ko, napaka-prone sa ganon kasi yung mga lalaki talagang gumaganon sila. Sabi ko, ay maawa naman kayo. Buti na lang, may female area doon sa unahan ng train. Kaya sabi ko, sige, doon ako sa female area. Kahit ako hindi na ako pregnant, hindi rin ako PWD, doon ako. Kasi feeling ko doon ako safe. Kasi ako pandigma yung mga katawan ng mga lalaki doon sa likod na part ng train. Diba? Sabi ko, lalaki nila eh. Sabi ko, no match ako dito kahit ako nag-training. Kahit ako nag-readily. Walang-wala yung katawan ko sa kanila. O, diba? So, ano pa? Inappropriate behavior inside the school premises. Ayan. So, ako, when I was in elementary, ang height ko lang kasi talaga sa totoo lang, napakaliit ko. Parang ako nung elementary, high school, lagi akong pangalawa sa linya. Never akong na-promote sa pangatlo. Sabi ko, gusto ko rin makaramdam na medyo nasa likod akong part. Hindi talaga. Kasi ang una daw sa linya, yung mga mabababa. So sabi ko, oh sige, papanindigan ko na to. Ang nangyari sa akin naman, ay ako ay binubuli. Kasi nga maliit ako. Ang ginagawa nila, kinukuha yung assignment ko, di ba? Kokopyahin. Eh ako naman, syempre, ang binibigay ko yung mali. Oh, di ba? Sabi ko, bakit ko ibibigay yung pinaghirapan ko? Ayan, syempre kako, akin yan. Oh. Pagdating ko naman ng college, wala nang linya-linya, di ba? Pag college, wala nang flag ceremony. Sabi ko, salamat sa Diyos. Hindi na ako gigising ng maaga. O, di ba? Sabi ko ganon, okay pala ako pag college. Kaso hindi. I was overwhelmed when I was in college. Siyempre, iba-iba ang mga culture na kinalakihan ng mga estudyante. Ano po? Merong mga liberated, merong yung mga studious. Ako, saks lang, tamang pumasa lang, o di ba? Basta sabi ko, wala akong palakol sa aking grades, okay na. O di ba? At nangyari nga naman. O di ba? Sabi ko, ang importante ka ako graduate ako at magkaroon ng magandang trabaho. Yun po, masyado ko namang minadali ang pag-aaral, 3 taon lang ako sa college. Sabi ko, I got bored. Sabi ko, what to do? I don't know what to do. Yes. I want to study. Yes. Sabi ko, mag-aaral ako ulit. Ngayon, sabi ko, I want something challenging. Yes. Kaya sabi ko, sige, I will take up my law school. Wow. Sabi ko, strong. Yes, I'm strong. Oo. Sabi ko, sige. Pero pagdating ko sa recitation ko sa law school, nako, siyempre, di ba, pag law school, dapat maayos ang damit. Kasi sabi nga, professional, di ba? I was a working student before, when I was in law school. I work with the Department of Trade and Industry. So, ano trabaho ko? Ako ang magmo-monitor ng mga presyo. O, di ba? Kaya pag nasa supermarket ako, sabay kain. Di ba? Kasi sa SM, may free taste. O, di ba? Gustong-gusto ko yan. Nag-field trip. Kasi syempre, I have to work smart. Because after I work, I immediately go to school. O, di mag-aaral ako. Sabi ko, sige, maganda ang damit. Di ba? Pag government employee, talagang Pilipinyana to the max yan. Sabi ko, sige, papasok ako sa school. Ngayon, pagpasok ko, napakaswerte ko. I am very lucky that day. I was called in my 3-hour class. Ako lang. O, di ba? Ang tanong sa akin, syempre hindi pa ako attorney nun. Miss Banse, what is a rock? Rock. Sabi ko, yes, rock and roll. O, di ba? Ang gusto ko sabihin ng ganun yung prof ko, di ba? Kasi yung una niyang tanong sa akin is like this. What if you are driving a bus and then umuulan ng malakas, may sharp curve at may kalabaw? Ano ang gagawin mo? Yung sharp curve ay may bangin, ha? Sabi, what will you do? Kasi ang subject ko ay torts and damages. Ang sabi, ano ang gagawin mo? Will you, parang ihuhulog mo ba yung bus na dinadrive mo sa bangin? Or babanggain mo yung kalabaw? Sabi ko, sir, I will apply the brakes. Diba? Ang sabi, in case of emergency, apply the brakes. Diba? Pag hindi gumana, saka ko na lang kako pipiliin alin ang mas lesser evil. Oh, saan ako doon? Lesser evil na ang babanggain ko na lang yung kalabaw. Diba? Kasi ngayon, sa totoo lang, may nahandle akong case. Yung baka nakarating sa highway, na-loose yung kanyang tali, nabangga ng sasakyan. Sino kamo ang injured? Yung sasakyan. Yung kalabaw, yung baka or kalabaw, walang dugo. Oh, sabi ko, immortal siya. Diba? Ngayon, ang tinanong sa akin, kasi ako yung naka-duty sa station, ma'am, pwede ko bang dalhin yung cattle na as kabayaran doon sa na-wreck kong sasakyan? Sabi ko, sir, no. Because you will be charged of Anti-Cattle Rustling Act. Kasi take note, that is a cattle, diba? Kasi kako, baka yan or kalabaw yan. So, hindi mo kako pwedeng kunin yan at i-appropriate on your own terms. Kaya ang nangyari, nasaan ang baka o yung kalabaw? Nasa istasyon. Oh, hindi ko siya kinulong hindi. Ang sabi ko, doon ka muna sa station hanggat walang nagkiklaim sa'yo. Pag may nag-claim sa'yo, okay, you are free to go. But if not, ito turn over ka kita sa Municipal Agricultural Office. O, diba? Sabi ko, iba ang experience sa station. Meron pa po akong basta ang dami. Transgender to ma'am sa Manila. Pero nakakatawa kasi. Pero sige, share ko na lang. Kasi ganito, alam niyo naman pag trans, diba? Nag-o-offer siya ng services. Parang Jennifer Laude. Ang nangyari ganito, yung lalaki nag-avail ng services ni trans sa Sogo Hotel. Ngayon, nung tapos na, magbabayad na. Ngayon, yung lalaki, ayaw siyang bayaran. Kasi ang sabi, hindi ka naman pala babae na totoo. Sabing ganon. Ngayon, bayaran mo ko kasi, kumbaga nasatisfy ko yung mo and whatsoever, yan ang sabi. Ngayon, hindi sila nagbayaran. Alam nyo kung saan pumunta? Sa police station. I was in NCR at that time. Assigned po ako sa NCR noon. Ngayon, nag-complain. Sabi, ma'am, hindi kasi ako binabayaran. Sabi ko, sir, magbayad ka kasi. Gusto nyo ako i-blatter natin to? Tapos magre-reklamo kayo, magkano ba ako ang babayaran sa'yo? 500 lang naman. Sabi ko, 500. O, diba? Sir, may 500 ka ba? Wala, pero meron akong relo. Ayaw tanggapin ng trans yung relo kasi fake. O, diba? Kaya sabi ko, wag na kayo mag-complain. Kasi sa totoo lang, nakakahiya yung complain. Sabi kong ganon. I-settle na lang kako natin according to our terms. Sabi kong ganon. Sabi ko, master, may 500 ka ba dyan? Ibigay mo na lang kako dito sa ating kasama. Para kako hindi naman siya masyado ng malungkot at siya ay napagod na nga at nalugi pa siya. Di ba? Kaya, kumbaga po, nakakaawa din yung mga gano'n nating mga kapatid. Di ba po? So, kaya may mga programs po kami yan sa PNP. Nagkakandak po kami ng mga gender awareness at doon po sa area kung saan ako assigned, yung mga workers po namin na engaged sa ganitong industry, they are holders of the so-called pink card. Yung pink card po na iyon, they are undergoing monthly check-up. Ayan. At nagpapa-pap smear din sila. Ayan. So, yun po yung isa sa pag-alaga ng aming local government unit. So, that is in Naga City. Our mayor po, Madam Senator, is the former Vice President Lenny Robredo. So, siya po ang aming mayor doon. Ayan. So, ano pa po? Areas with higher report incidents sa transport hubs, commercial hubs, school zones, and poorly lit or low visibility barangays. Saan po ito? Sa ating mga upland barangays. Kasi po, given the circumstance na hindi na po natin minsan naaabot dahil nga po sa geographic location, dahil na rin po sa mahirap puntahan, kaya minsan po, yung services natin hindi po nakakaabot. Pero rest assured that we are trying our best to reach communities that are far-flung areas po. Ayan. So ano pa po yung gusto kong bigyan ng focus dito? O, di ba marami yung kwento kaysa doon sa discussion, no? Sige na nga. Ayan. I'll proceed na. Ayan. Kasi alam ko bored na kayo. Pwede na ba akong pang talk show? Parang gusto ko na mag-shift ng career. Pwede na ba? Parang hindi pa. Ayan. So, ano pa? Ayan. Skip ko na ha. Meron po kasi akong gustong bigyan ng emphasis dito. Ayan. Ito, dito po sa set up the anti-sexual harassment desk in all barangays, city and municipal halls, preferably staffed by women. So, kami po, as practice po sa Naga City, meron po kaming in-establish na one-stop shop para po sa mga complaints on violence against women. Meron po. So, di ba po, alam naman natin na that is a very traumatic experience. Yung paulit-ulit kayong nagkikwento ng karanasan nyo. Di ba po? Kasi po, based on interviews, mga ma'am, sir, at sa aking mga kapatid na estudyante, ang nakakalungkot po kasi, paulit-ulit yung cycle of violence. Bakit nagsistay sa family or doon sa lalaki? Because of financial dependence. Ang nangyayari po kasi, sa totoo lang, pag ang totoong reklamo nila, non-support. Tapos, pag nag-pledge na yung lalaki na magsusupport, nag-a-affidavit of desistance na. Ayaw nang mag-push through ng kaso. Bakit? Kasi daw, magsusupport naman na yung lalaki. So, kumbaga po, nadi-defeat yung purpose kung bakit natin kinakampaign itong batas na ito and other laws relevant to this. Nakakalungkot lang po. So, sabi ko nga po sa kanila, sa mga nagiging clients namin, you need to attain your self-actualization. Di ba? Kay Maslow. Oh, may naalala pa ako sa aking psychology. Oh, di ba? Pero alam mo, sabi ko, hindi ako pwede maging psychologist. Hindi. Kasi, sabi ko, parang ang tolerance ko ako sa mga kwento nila hindi masyadong mahaba. Parang maiiyak ako. Sabi ko, sige, iwan mo na yan. Ganun ata ang advice ko. Kaya mo yan. Kaya mo mag-isa. Iwan mo na yan. Diba? Pero dapat hindi ganon. So, ayan. Ang sabi ko na lang po sa kanila, you need to know again your reason why you are here in this world. Dati ka ako nagtatrabaho ka, diba? Bago ka nag-asawa, maganda ang career mo. So, kung noon ka ako nagawa mo, magagawa mo ulit ngayon. Mas dapat mo akong gawin ngayon kasi meron kang anak na nakadepende sa'yo. So, we treat them not as victims, but what? As survivors. Kasi, ini-instill na namin sa kanila na you are a survivor. You are not a victim. Kasi pag sinabi niyo pong victim, di ba, mas nakaka-low moral. Pero pag sinabi niyong survivor kayo, nai-empower ang babae. Kasi meron pong recent case kami niyan na yung tatay po kasi is lasinggero. Ngayon, pag lasing yung tatay, paulit-ulit niyang binubugbog ang kanyang mag-iina. So, ang nangyari po, pumunta doon sa help desk na sinasabi kong one-stop shop. Ang ginawa namin, sabi namin, sige, pag naulit pa ng isang beses, then you train your children kung ano ang gagawin nila. Kaya habang wala yung tatay, tinuturuan niya yung mga anak niya. Kasi po nasa tender age pa yung mga anak eh. Ang pinaka matanda is 7, tapos 5, tapos sumunod ay 3 years old. Ngayon, ang sabi ko sa kanya, turuan mo sila na pag nakita na nila yung senaryo na yan, ang tendency nyo kako, you flee, you go. Kaya ang ginawa ng nanay, nag-practice sila. Since mga bata pa, ang dapat kako nyong gawin, hindi nyo kako babanggain yung bintana, sipain mo yung bintana. Kasi kako, si mother ang mag-protect, parang sasanggain niya yung kanyang asawa. Ngayon, pag nung nangyari po talaga to in actual, nakatakas yung dalawang bata, tapos noong si mother na, nahabol siya ng saksak ng tatay. Pero she was able to run away and just sustained major wounds. Pero ang nakakalungkot, naiwan yung bunso. Naiwan po yung isa niyang anak na 3 years old. Ngayon, nung nandoon po sila sa shelter, sabi namin, kukunin natin yung anak mong isa. Sabi kong ganon, we will just wait for the proper time, kung kailan. Kaya, ang nangyari po, ilang beses kaming nag-lobby, ilang beses kami nag-survey sa area, and then, eventually po, nakuha namin yung bunso. Para kaming nakakita ng soap opera na talagang papaakyat pa lang yung bata, yung nanay niya ay humahagulgol na sa iyak. Sabi ko, di ba kako, you are working before you get married? You can work ulit. Sabi kong ganon, we can endorse you to DOLE para kako mabigyan ka ng skills training. Pwede ka namin itap kay DTI para mabigyan ka ng startup kits. Kasi kako ang government, meron silang assistance na binibigay sa mga VAW victims. Yan po. So kami po, best effort kami sa pag-link sa kanila. And meron na din po kami mga ma'am, sir, at mga kapatid na mga mothers na na-renew yung kanilang buhay. So, kumbaga po, we are still on the process, we are fighting for this, and yet, nakikita po kami ng progress. Sabi nga po ni Emma Watson, di ba? It took us 300 years to fight for equality. napakatagal, no? Sabi ko, 300 years, I'm like an immortal, o, di ba? Pero sabi ko nga, napakatagal. Kasi alam niyo naman po, di ba, sa organization namin, puro male-dominated, di ba? Kaya pag nagko-conference, ako yung pinakamaliit. Talagang kita nila yan. Tapos biglang, ganon. Tapos biglang ganyan. So sabi nila, oh, andito na naman yung ating attorney. Yes, sir. I'm here, sir. And what do you need, sir? Oh, ganon. So, syempre, pagdating sa mga legal advice kami, ang sinasabi namin yan, sir, ganito lang ang kakalabasan yan. We give two sides of the coin. But doon po kami sa lenient, doon po kami sa makatao. Ayan, kasi alam niyo naman, sa organization po namin, maraming issues, di ba? So, yan po. So, ako po, advocate ako niyan. Kasi nga, lagi ako nabubuli. Kasi nga ang height ko. Kaya, sabi ko, I will not tolerate this. I will not tolerate this. Sabi ko ganon. Kaya dapat, yan. Lagi lang akong ganito. Pero pag ako nakapangdamit sa inyo, para rin lang akong estudyante, di ba? So, discount po, so sayang ng 20%, kaya avail ko. Ito pa. Ayan, may emphasis lang akong gustong ibigay dito sa online sexual harassment. Yan, si cyberstalking. Napakasikat niyan. Alam nyo ba kung ano yung cyberstalking? Yung pang-stalk mo, ginawa mo lang online. Hindi mo tinatantanan yung crush mo o yung babaeng gustong-gusto mo na obsess ka na i-message siya. Hi, ganda. Diba? Wanna meet up? Mga ganyan ang mga chat niyan. Ano pa? Are you free? Kape tayo. So ano to? Networking. O, diba? Open-minded ka ba? O, pag tinanong ka na ng ganyan, ay, okay, ano to? Diba? Networking agad ang nasa isip. Tama? Ano, natanong na ba kayo dito niyan? Ako nung college, oo. Kaya sabi ko, hindi po ako open-minded. Close-minded po ako. Ayan. Kasi gusto ko muna mag-aral bago ako mag-networking. Kasi hindi ako magaling mang-recruit ng tao. Hindi talaga. Parang magaling lang ako mang-chika, pero kung i-recruit kita medyo, I'm shy. Parang hindi ko talent yan. O, di ba? Kaya nga sabi ko, wala akong talent, nag-attorney na lang ako. O, yun. So, ituloy ko yung kwento ko kanina. Nasa law school ako. Ang ganda ng damit ko. Nag-recite ako. Hindi ko masyado nasagot yung tanong. Sabi sa akin ng prof ko, ang ganda pa naman ng damit mo. Hindi ka naman nag-aral. Hindi ko, grabe ko. Sir, I know what a rock is. Rock and roll. O, diba? Pero syempre, hindi ko sinabi yun. Ang sabi ko, ang rock po ay it cannot sustain human life. Kasi timing yun yung arbitral award ng West Philippine Sea. Kaya tinanong ako, what is an island? Oh, sabi ko, ano ka ako, sir? It is navigable, habitable, lahat ng ball, nilagay ko na. Ayan. Kasi wala na akong maisip, di ba? 3 hours is so long. Nasasabi ko, oh my gosh, nabilang ko na lahat ng paro-paro dito sa classroom namin. Pero, again, ang tanong lang niya sa akin, what is the arbitral award? Sabi ko, the Philippines won, yes. Pero sabi niya, why? Doon na ako hindi nakasagot. Kasi that is a 500-page reading. At hindi ko alam kung saan yun makikita. Kasi sabi ko nga, working student ako, di ba? I keep on praying before I enter the class, Lord, sana po hindi ako matawag. Pero wag ka, pag yung class card lumalagapak sa lamesa. Oh my God, ako ata yun. Tatawag ako, tas natawag ako. Oh my God! O, diba? Parang, you close your book. Sabi ko, okay. Yes, sir. I'm ready, sir. Pero, nakakatakot. So, sabi ko nga po, I will take the bar once. Ayoko na. Sabi ko ganon. Kaya ako, last full show na to. Kailangan ko akong ayusin yung bar. And luckily, I passed the bar. Sabi ko, talaga naman. Kasi nga po, sabi ko, ayaw ko umulit. Kasi napakahaba ng review ko. Kasi naman, nagka-COVID noon, di ba, mga ma'am, sir? COVID. Nasuspend yung bar namin. Nag-aral ako. Tapos 2 weeks before the bar, binago yung coverage. Sabi ko, wait lang. Paano yung inaral ko? Sabi ko ganon. One day akong tulala. Sabi ko, paano na yung inaral ko? Hindi ko na alam saan ako magsisimula. Sabi ko ganon, sabi ko, Lord, bahala ka na Lord. Kung para sa akin to, ibibigay mo to. Sabi ko ganon. Tapos pagpasok ko na nung ako mag-e-exam, ang galing. Yung extension wire ko hindi gumana. Sabi ko, the bar exam is like 8 hours. Paano na tong laptop ko? Sabi ko ganon. Tapos, sabi ko, buti na lang, yung laptop ko, malakas ang battery. Sabi ko, mairaraos natin to. Then after I finished the exam, doon ko naramdaman yung pagod. Sabi ko, oh my gosh, I'm really done. Tapos na talaga ako. Sabi ko ganon. Tapos nagdasal na lang ako, Lord, wala na akong magagawa, ikaw na ang bahala. Ganon. So, nung out na yung result, sabi ko, ayaw kong ako yung titingin. Gusto ko ako yung babalitaan. At nangyari naman. Sabi ko, nasa simbahan ako noon. Tumawag yung tita ko, uy, pasado ka. Sabi ko, huwag ka magbibiro ng ganyan. Yan ang hindi ko gustong biro. Sabi niya, ikaw lang naman to, diba? Sabi ko, talagang ako talaga yun. Sabi ko gano'n, I feel so rich that day. I gave the, yung namamalimos 1,000. Oh, sabi ko talaga, syempre nakapasa ako eh. Sabi niya, ma'am, pahingi po ng ito kuya, 1,000. O diba? Saka pa, sabi ko, gusto kong kumain ng masarap. Sige. Nung sabi na nung classmate ko, uy, ayan na yung result. Fina-flash na. Sabi ko, oh my God, yung gutom ko na-suspend. Nawala yung gutom ko. Siyempre, hindi ko maintindihan yung feeling, di ba? O, di ba, until now, nag-goosebumps ako. Ngayon, tinake out ko yung pagkain. Nung ako nakapasa nga, di ba, binigyan ko ng 1,000, tapos yung take out ko na super meal, binigay ko dun sa isang nagtitinda ng kandila. O, diba? Sabi ko, sige, sa inyo na yan. Lahat ka ako nang mayroon ako dito sa bulsa ko, sa inyo na yan. Sabi ko, gano'n, magpamisa talaga ako. Sabi ko, Lord, thank you. Oh my gosh, this is it. Sabi ko, gano'n, akala ko pag attorney na okay na, yun pala hindi. Kasi, yun na, napakahirap, ma'am. Ngayon ito, may last na lang ako sa inyong problem solving. Problem solving lang, madali lang to. Ayan. So, mga senaryo kasi to sa classroom. Relate kayo, no? Ang dali lang. Napakahaba kasi, ayaw niya na makiko-operate. Sabi niya, time is up. Ayaw niya na makiko-operate. Ayan. Na-explain naman na yan. Yan na, wait lang. Ala. O baka naghang na. Wait lang. Ayan. Ito, okay na to. Dito tayo sa sample problem. Ayan. So, number 1. During a lab experiment, a male student repeatedly stands very close to a female classmate and places his hand on her shoulder and waist while laughing. When she moves away, he says, arte mo naman. Joke lang. O, diba? Question. Is it considered a gender-based sexual harassment already? Ano sa tingin nyo? Relate kayo? Parang yes, no. If yes, why? So technically, yes, it is gender-based sexual harassment yung type 1. So bakit? May unwanted physical contact, may lack of consent, diba? And downplaying harm by calling it a mere joke. Diba? Yun. Joke lang naman yun. Ang masyado ka namang maarte. Yan. So, hindi po ibig sabihin na joke lang, okay lang. Ano po? Take note. Yan. Power, authority, and sexual favor. A male professor tells a female engineering student, pwede kita bigyan ng mataas na grade if you go out with me. The student feels pressured and afraid to refuse. Siyempre, ang kapalit doon ay yung marka niya. Diba? Na pwede kang ibagsak, pwede kang hindi makagraduate kung hindi mo pagbibigyan. Diba? So, again, gender-based sexual harassment? If yes, why? So, it is a gender-based sexual harassment in educational institution. So, bakit? There is an abuse of authority. Meron kasi tayong tinatawag na moral ascendancy. Moral ascendancy between whom? The professor and the student. Kaya yung estudyante pumayag kasi there is a fear in her na pwede siyang mabagsak, na pwede siyang hindi makagraduate at pwedeng masira ang kanyang buhay. Tama? Ano pa? Demand for sexual favor? Yes. And academic consequence involved. Yung hindi niya pag-graduate or hindi niya pagpasa. And there is a power imbalance. Siyempre, professor between a student, no match talaga. Diba? Okay. GC, DM, and unsolicited content. In an engineering class group chat, a student posts a sexual meme and tags a classmate saying, "Bagay to sa'yo, idol." Oh, di ba? The classmate asked him to stop, but he continues sending the message privately. Hindi niya tinatantanan yung kanyang classmate. Again, online sexual harassment? If yes, why? So, it is online gender-based sexual harassment because the acts involve unwanted sexual jokes. Repeated message after refusal, and it is used in a digital platform. That is Messenger, WhatsApp, Instagram, depende. So ayan, a male student repeatedly waits outside a female student laboratory building, follows her after class, and sends a message like, "Hindi ka naman tatakasan, destined tayo." O diba? Obsessed. Oh. So, she already said no several times. Again, is it persistence ba? Or is the persistence romantic or criminal na? And to be considered as stalking under Safe Spaces Act. Yes, it is stalking na. Ayan. Bakit? Because there is repeated following, a clear refusal, kasi di ba tumanggi na siya several times pero hindi siya tinantanan, and a fear and distress caused. Na-stress siya kasi may sumusunod sa kanya. So, tapos na ako, mga kapatid. Sana may natutunan kayo. Ayan. May natutunan kayo? Ha? Wala? Wala po. Ayan, meron. So, I hope I imparted at least kahit konti. Alam natin kung saan tayo magko-complain, ha? Huwag kayo matakot, ha? Huwag kayo matakot, please. Kasi hindi magiging successful ang prosecution natin ng mga crimes na yan kung kayo mismo ay matatakot. Okay? Huwag kayo matakot sa PNP. Ako lang naman ang mukha ng PNP. O, diba? Ayan. So again, thank you and good morning.
Thank you very much, Police Captain and Attorney Gonzales, for that very comprehensive and very engaging safe space situationer in Albay. Sucks na sucks talaga, ma'am.
And hopefully we can apply it in our day-to-day lives. diba,
Yes,
ma'am?
correct, Geoffrey. And we'd like to acknowledge the presence, of course, of the Senator Risa Ontiveros here. Hi, ma'am.
The most awaited
Yes.
speaker and guest
And
for
of
today.
course, Geoffrey, it is equally important for us to understand the reporting mechanisms here in Bicol University. Where to go, what to do, and how to seek help.
Our next speaker serves as the University Legal Officer of Bicol University, providing expert legal counsel and ensuring institutional compliance with all regulatory and statutory mandates. She safeguards the rights and welfare of students, faculty, staff, and all concerned stakeholders, upholding fairness, accountability, and equitable access to legal remedies. Through her expertise, she strengthens the university's legal infrastructure and contributes to maintaining a safe, ethical, and rights-respecting Bicol University. To guide us, we welcome Attorney Darrell A. Redoblado, a University Legal Officer of Bicol University.
Thank you very much to our dear hosts and of course, okay pa ba yung mga students natin from Bicol University? Andyan pa ba kayo? Okay, so I have been rendering lecture actually on Safe Spaces Act, and this is a core memory for me because this time there's a bit pressure because we have the very author of the act, the principal author or the key proponent of this act. We have Senator Risa in the audience. So we are very privileged to have you this morning, Sen. And okay, so let's proceed to the lecture, which is on the procedure in handling cases under the Safe Spaces Act. Earlier on, during the discussion of our two speakers, yung substance ng kanilang discussion is actually more on substantive. So when we speak of substantive, it lays down ano ba yung sinasabi ng batas? Ano ba yung mga acts na when committed would be tantamount to a violation of the Safe Spaces Act. So hindi ko na po uulitin yun because they were already comprehensively discussed by our two speakers. So what is now the importance of my topic? Hindi po natin hinihingi sa Bicol University community na mangyari ang mga violations ng violations ng Safe Spaces Act. Pero lamang pa rin po yung may alam, di ba? So, today, I will be highlighting the process not only on the reporting mechanism, but how we address complaints and cases on Safe Spaces Act. Okay, so, ay wala po akong clicker. Supposedly, I would like to reiterate sana some legal frameworks, but hindi ko na po papasadahan yung mga yun. Okay, so, let's proceed to... Okay, this one. Ayan, I just would like to emphasize that confusion may arise between the Sexual Harassment Act and the Safe Spaces Act, okay? But they are two different laws, okay? But it doesn't mean po that with the passage of the Safe Spaces Act, na-abrogate na yung Sexual Harassment Act. The anti-Bastos law, or the Bawal Bastos law, I mean, does not actually undo or abandon the definition of sexual harassment under the Anti-Sexual Harassment Law of 1995. It only expands. Expands what? Expands the coverage, no? Expands the coverage and sino ba yung mga pwede mag-commit or maging victim ng violation of Safe Spaces Act. Okay, next. One important highlight of RA 11313 is the recognition, the protection, and the guarantee that the Safe Space Act provides for the equality, security, and safety of all persons, most especially women and members of the LGBT community. So Bicol University SEN is very committed in implementing the advocacies on LGBT Safe Spaces Act. So we are very keen on that. Yes, that's one thing that we can assure you. We have already passed some administrative orders addressing concerns in LGBT, and we also have, of course, our University Gender and Development Director in the person of Dr. Monte. Good morning, ma'am. So, in partnership with our CGAD, or the University CGAD, we have been implementing programs, we have been issuing guidelines and other regulations in relation to the Safe Space Act and other LGBTQ concerns. All right. So, now let's proceed. We have the two speakers, mga panyeras, already discussed the four categories of gender sexual harassment. Okay? So ganito lang yung isipin nyo. Yung mga narinig nyo sa kanila kanina, na what are the acts that constitute a violation of Safe Space Act? Diba naalala nyo, ang dami nilang sinite na example, like yung pag-whistle, pag-catcalling, etc. So, yung mga acts na yon, when committed inside the university, no, it will fall under here, gender-based sexual harassment in educational and training institutions. So, with emphasis on that, kaya nakaibang kulay siya. Now, the gravamen of the offense here is actually the Sexual Harassment Act is based on a person's sexual orientation, gender identity, or expression. Now, the key element of Safe Space, guys, is the attack on the gender or the harassment on the gender-based Ayan, sexual orientation, gender identity, and expression of a person. Dito sa Safe Space Act, hindi po requirement yung authority or moral ascendancy. So medyo mas delicate po yung possibility, mas possible na madali yung commission ng violation ng Safe Space Act kasi hindi na natin hahanapin na dapat may moral ascendancy si ganito. Hindi. Kaya kanina sinabi ni attorney na pwede siyang makomit ng estudyante against another estudyante against a faculty or a non-teaching staff, and pwede din naman na teaching or non-teaching staff against each other or one another or against a student. So yun, na-expand yung application niya. Wala nang requirement ng authority or moral ascendancy. Now, of course, sinasabi nga natin na hindi pwede na hanggang sa batas lang or substantive lang. Meron dapat tayong procedural mechanisms, okay? So, in the implementation of the Safe Space Act and its implementing rules and regulations, meron po tayong mga kaaliado or mga kapartner. So, we have institutional actors, and these institutional actors actually have their own, have their respective mechanisms. So kaya nga meron tayo kaninang speaker, di ba? We have attorney from PNP kasi meron din silang separate na mechanism and may jurisdiction din sila. Meron din po tayong mga LGUs, di ba? So meron din po silang sariling mechanism as well as barangays and national government agencies. Now, lahat po yan may role kanya-kanya sa pag-implement ng SSA. So dito tayo mag-focus sa educational institutions and workspaces, other places. Educational institution lang. Ayun yun lang. Wait lang po. Okay, so ano yung sinasabi ng Article 5 ng RA number 11313? Article 5 of RA 11313 establishes or enumerates the mandates of a school, okay? Ang title niya is Gender-Based Sexual Harassment in Educational and Training Institutions. Alright, so number 1, the school is mandated, tandaan nyo, there is no qualification. Both applies to public or private school. So, ano yung mga mandates? Number 1, assign an office or person that must be readily accessible to receive complaints on GBSH. Of course, someone with knowledge about gender and GBSH, mental health, counseling, and other relevant knowledge and skills. Second, ensure that the victims are provided with a gender-sensitive environment that is both respectful to the victim's needs and conducive to truth-telling. Third, adopt and publish grievance procedures to facilitate the filing of complaints by students and faculty members. Provide measures to prevent gender-based sexual harassment in educational institutions, like information campaigns. Provide and disseminate in consultation with all persons in the educational institution a code of conduct or school policy which shall, number 1, expressly reiterate the prohibition on gender-based sexual harassment. Number 2, prescribe the procedures of the internal mechanism created under this act, and of course, to set administrative penalties for violations of the said act within the jurisdiction of Bicol University. So we will go to that. Okay, so far, nasaan ang Bicol University ngayon as to the implementation of the Safe Space Act? We have, of course, number 1, policies against GBSH in student and personal handbooks. So, we are pleased to inform you, and of course, our beloved Senator, that just recently, the university has concluded its revision of the BU Code and the student handbook. And of course, dahil yung revision ay subsequent to the passage of this, we already incorporated revisions on Safe Spaces Act. So, i-release po yun, and you will find already their provision on Safe Spaces Act. Okay, Next, mandatory awareness raising and inclusion in curricula. I think some of the programs have already started also incorporating in their curricula the implementation of Safe Spaces Act. And of course, sa aming po sa legal office, we are now keen on checking the memorandum of agreement of our students who go on OJT, immersion. We make sure that now there is already a provision for the Safe Space Act. So yung mga students natin, if you will go there sa legal office, magpapareview ng MOA, ng sa OJT, make sure that we have already that item there. Okay? So, that's one of our initiatives po. And the establishment of a grievance disciplinary committee or CODI. Actually, sa Sexual Harassment Act pa lang po, DO has already its CODI. So, annually po, it's being revised or reconstituted para walang familiarity. Yeah. So, dinidesignate lang po yung committee. So, committee members. Wala po tayong plan area for that. Opo. So, in designating, we make sure that represented naman po doon sa committee yung iba-ibang groups kung saan po pwede manggaling yung mga concerns. So, we make sure that they are well represented. Okay. So, in reporting, dito po kasi sa amin sa BUS, the reporting actually is done usually to the Office of the President. Seldom that they direct it to the legal office. But since they are aware of the CODI, sometimes they file it before the CODI. But may mga parties po kasi na they would prefer or they are more comfortable of raising concerns to their deans and directors. So, nagkakaroon po ng variation as to the reporting, but we make sure that all of those are referred subsequently to, next slide po, referred subsequently to the CODI. So, lahat po na yon ay nire-refer later on sa CODI. Okay, so ito din-discuss na po kanina, ano yung mga kailangan i-observe when there is already a case or investigation involving this, the violation of this act. Now, so there is now the referral of that complaint or concern to the CODI. So during the time that the complaint or the case, the complaint is now at the level of the CODI, what now happens? Usually po, number one, of course, you have to notify kung sino yung person complained of. Due process ba? Diba? That's a form of due process. So you call the attention of that person and inform him of the allegations against him or her that is related to the violation of Safe Space Act, and then he replies and then submit also he or she has his evidence, his or her evidence, so i-attach na yan usually. So pag meron na po ganyan, it's included in the bulk of documents related to that complaint, and there will be a fact-finding to be conducted by the CODI. So, meron pong kinakonduct na fact-finding. So, hindi automatic na pag nag-complain ka ay sure mo na there is a case talaga na mananalo ka. Siyempre, dadaan din yan po sa fact-finding. Now, after the fact-finding, wherein the CODI members convene, tapos minsan pinapatawag din po nila yung mga parties. So after that, after considering all the testimonies and evidence of both the parties, the CODI will now issue their resolution or decision. Okay? So after the issuance of resolution or decision, that decision or resolution is transmitted to the office of the university president. So that is for appropriate action of the president. Now, there are possible scenarios. Minsan, of course, tatakbuhan yan is the legal office because hihingi yung president ng legal advice as to the resolution or decision. So there are possible scenarios. Number one, if the CODI finds that there is no probable cause to proceed with the investigation, normally it's dismissed. So dinidismiss natin yon. But if there is a sufficient or substantial evidence that will establish that indeed there is a violation of the Safe Space Act or the Sexual Harassment Act, there will be the conduct of formal investigation. So ito na yung administrative action. So if students, student handbook, nakalagay doon, papaano ba yung ating pag-handle ng case against the student, okay? And also, if it is an employee, we go to the RACs. So it's the governing procedure, the revised administrative procedures for handling cases against civil service servants. So yun po. Now, after that, the formal investigation, so lalabas na kung ano yung magiging result, and then i-notify yung parties, of course, kung ano yung result, and they are of course given a remedies kung gusto nila mag-appeal, etc. So nakalatag naman po yung SEN sa student handbook namin. Mayroon pong grievance mechanism doon as to kung paano po yung pasunod-sunod na steps na susundin nila in proceeding with the case. Alright, so if naman we found out that, di ba kasi po, meron tayong tinatawag na threefold liability. Meron pong na-mention din kanina na once an act is committed, hindi lang po administrative liability yung kasama niyan. It's possible that there is also a criminal liability and there is also civil liability. So in the cases of civil and criminal liability, wala pong jurisdiction ang Bicol University. So, hindi po tayo courts na may jurisdiction over criminal aspect, only the administrative aspect. So, what are we going to do now in that case? Papasok na po yung referral to proper authorities. Okay? So, kami na po yung magre-refer noon kung sino yung proper body or authority that will handle the civil or the criminal aspect of the case. Next. Okay, so sexual harassment and gender threefold liability, criminal to address the wrong committed against society itself, civil to address the private wrong against the offended party, and administrative to protect the public service. Courts and administrative bodies should not hesitate to penalize insidious acts of sexual harassment, especially when committed by high-ranking public officers. So, kung magre-refer po tayo ngayon, ano na lang yung ating role? Kapasa lang ba natin yun sa kanila and then, okay, tapos na ang BU dyan? Hindi. The role of BU is to assist the victim in reporting to the proper authorities. So, imo-monitor natin syempre. Kasi pwedeng estudyante natin yun or pwedeng empleyado natin yun. So, meron pa rin tayong connection sa kanya. That's why we need to monitor. Next is to provide documentation and witness cooperation. Okay? So, tayo ngayon ay makikipag-cooperate kung kanino man po na authority that can handle the case. Alright, so, yun lang. Now, just to highlight po, recent initiatives of BU. Number one, incorporation of safe spaces provisions in contracts agreements, especially in the conduct of on-the-job trainings, immersions, and RLE, including the recently revised BU Code and Student Handbook. Second, the conduct of lectures, orientations on the Safe Spaces Act and its IRR, tuloy-tuloy lang po yun, with the help of our University CGAD. And the issuance of Administrative Order Number 490, dated August 11, 2025, inatasan po ang PWG na to ng aming Presidente to review po the cases, if meron, on Safe Space Act, the existing policies, if there's a need to revise or improve. So we are on it as of now, Sen, and together with me is Dr. Monte. So that's the recent actions or initiatives of the university. And we are happy to be part of the implementation of this activity together with our Senator Isang Tibero. So thank you very much once again to the organizers. No, it's an honor for BU na maging venue po ito. And to our students, eto, let's say goodbye to Bawal Bastos. So, baka naman po sa mga engagements niyo, maging kinay po kayo sa mga pakikipag-usap, pakikipag-deal sa inyong mga classmates or kanino man within and outside the university. So, mas okay yung walang kaso, diba? Peace of mind. So, thank you very much po.
Thank you very much, Attorney Redoblado, for the very informative. Now, the Bicol University, alam nyo na kung saan kayo pupunta, kailan nyo kailangang puntahan ang mga dapat itag na mga people. So at this point, Geoffrey, we are deeply honored to hear from the champion herself of the Women's Rights, Youth Empowerment, and Safe Spaces Act. Geoffrey, please do the honors of introducing our next guest.
Okay, thank you so much, ma'am. So sabi ko nga kanina, hindi na lang sa Facebook Reels, hindi na lang sa TikTok, but we are so lucky here in Bicol University. It is my great honor to introduce the most awaited, loved, and courageous senator. She is the Senate Deputy Majority Leader, Chairperson of the Committee on Health, Chairperson of the Committee on Women, Family Relations, and Gender Equality. She is known for her tireless work in promoting public health, human rights and welfare of the Filipino family, the author of the Safe Streets and Public Spaces Law or the Bawal Bastos Law. Ang Madam Chair ng Senado at nating lahat, Senator Risa Hontiveros!
Dakulang pasasalamat sa ating mga MCs, sina Miss Sarah at Sir Jeffrey. Palakpakan po natin sila. So, marahay na aldaw po sa Indugabos, mga Uragon. Oh, walang sagot ang biyo. Mamaya mas malakas pa ang sagot ng Mariano Marcos State University. When, Manong, or ng Tarlac State University. At malapit na po ang araw ng Pasko. Merry Christmas po sa bawat isa sa inyo. Batiin naman po natin ang ating seatmate ng Merry Christmas sa iyo. Hayaan niyo rin po akong batiin ng natatangi yung ating mga leader na nandito kasama natin ngayong araw. Siyempre po, si University President Dr. Benjamin Baby Boy Nebres III. Palakpakan po natin sila. Ang ating OIC Vice President for Research, Development and Extension, Dr. Lani Maceda. Ang Bicol University Center for Gender and Development, Officer Maria Victoria Monte. Ang narinig po nating Bicol University Legal Officer, Attorney Dario Redoblado. Yan. Mula sa Office of the Student Regent, Kyle Ruben Bron. Yan, kayong mga sinabi ni Gato Serizal na pag-asa ng ating bayan. Ang iba pang University Student Council officers, tuloy-tuloy lang, palakpakan natin sila, mga kapwa nyo estudyante. Mula sa Senate GAD, ang minamahal kong Senate Legal Counsel, Attorney Maria Valentina Cruz. Nako. And of course, mula sa Philippine National Police, kung saan naging miyembro din yung late husband ko, ang narinig din natin si Attorney at Police Captain Kimberly Banse Gonzales. Mabuhay kayo. Happy ako na abutan ko yung talk ninyo. Yun, okay. So at least nabati ko naman ang ating mga kasamang mga leader dito. Nakulang pasasalamat sa Bicol University Student Council, sa Senate GAD, at sa lahat po na nagtulong-tulong para sa event na ito. It's always a pleasure for me to come home to Bicol kasi home province ng yumaong asawa ko na si Frank Bitangcor Barakel dito sa ating rehiyon. Papa po niya, taga-Digdi sa Albay, sa Bakakay. Ang mama naman niya, taga-Lerma sa Naga City, sa Camarines Sur. So, Uragon man siya, like you. Kaya yung apat na anak ko rin ay may dugong Bicol din.
And speaking of my children, they're really the ones who teach me about your generation, about what's new, what's in, and diba, what this whole new world of the internet and social media is that you are all navigating. Yung bunso kong si Sinta, actually siguro kaedad nyo lang, Gen Z, and still studying nursing. And she's quite active in online spaces, lalo na sa Instagram at TikTok. Sinong active din sa Instagram dito? Ayan. Sino sa TikTok? Ayan, mas marami pa. And sometimes, I still do worry about how safe she is out there. Kaya, unawain nyo na lang na pati yung mga magulang nyo siguro, nagwo-worry din kung ganong ka-safe space din sa inyo itong mundo ng internet out there. I worry not only as a parent, but also as someone who's led Senate hearings about how emerging technologies like artificial intelligence are continuously being abused to violate our young people, children, and women. Today, we are actually still commemorating the annual 18-day campaign to end violence against women. BU din ba nag-annual 18-day campaign? Yes, mabuhay kayo. Ang Mariano Marcos din at ang Tarlac State U din. Mabuhay po yung ating mga SUCs para doon. Napakalalim pa rin po kasi ang problema ng karahasan laban sa kababaihan sa ating bansa. Natalakay din ni Attorney Captain Abance Gonzales kanina, domestic violence, sexual abuse, sexual harassment nga po, and rape are still lived experiences of too many Filipinos, particularly Filipinas at mga miyembro ng LGBTQIA+ community. But what's even more alarming is that more and more women experience violence because new types of violence, especially in digital spaces, are still emerging. In our recent Committee on Women hearing, we discovered that the likenesses and faces of famous female personalities were used for AI-generated pornography, certainly without their consent. At kung nagagawa ito sa mga sikat, tulad nila, ano pa kaya sa mga hindi kasing sikat at karaniwang mamamayan? Ang isang malalang kaso din na dininig namin ay ang tungkol sa isang mom influencer kung saan natuklasan niya na ang picture ng baby niya ay kinuha at nilagay sa isang sexual video at pinagbebenta pa online. Sino sa inyo nakakita sa kanyang pagsumbong sa atin, sa publiko? Yan, I see. May iba rin dito na nakapansin din ito, tulad ko. In a separate hearing, we also found that there are AI apps readily available online that enable users to undress images and videos of women, and more alarmingly, even of children. This is a new form of violence, a new form of assault that takes away the dignity of our most vulnerable. And I'm sorry to say, sa kasamaang palad, kayong mga digital natives ang isa sa mga pinaka-vulnerable din sa karahasang ito, because the internet, social media, and the digital world have been, for better and for worse, an extension of your identities. Hindi namin naisip yun noon, kaming mga magulang nyo, nung kami ay kasing bata pa ninyo. I don't mean to make you scared, ha? Sa totoo lang, dapat ang mga kriminal na gumagawa nitong mga karahasan ang natatakot. Hindi kayong mga kabataan, hindi tayong mga babae, anuman ang soji natin. And this is why we are pushing to amend the Safe Spaces Act, piniresenta ng ating mga speakers, that law na ipinasa natin noong 2019. The Safe Spaces Act, gaya ng sinabi ng ating mga tagapagsalita, seeks to protect every Filipina and Filipino from gender-based harassment and discrimination in public spaces, schools, workplaces, and even online. But we, lawmakers, we were not prepared for the rapidity with which AI technologies have been developed and have evolved. At the moment, there is even no existing law here in our country that specifically targets AI-generated, non-consensual, intimate materials, synthetic pornography, and deep fakes. Our law was not ready for AI to be abused and exploited against our women, youth, and children. Kaya, nandito po ako, kaya ako nadirito upang hingiin ang inyong suporta, ang inyong payo at inputs sa ating pagpasa ng Safe Spaces Act Amendment. Because this will finally include offenses that are committed using AI and other emerging technologies na wala pa dito sa mundo natin noong una nating ipinasa ang batas. At syempre, magkakaroon ng karampatang parusa ang sino mang gumamit ng AI para sa karahasan. As chairperson of the Senate Committee on Women, of course, I, sina Attorney Cruz sa Senate GAD, lahat ng mga counterparts namin sa House din, Harinawa, we will do everything we can to move this measure forward. But the voices and the participation of young people like you is even more essential to further pressure all of us in the Senate or in the whole Congress to support the passage of this measure at the soonest possible time. I also hope that in your communities, schools and universities like BU Mariano Marcos, Tarlac State U, will strive to make the spaces you occupy safe for everyone. Online man o ganitong face-to-face, let's all be a little kinder. Sige, palakpakan natin ang kindness na gustong-gusto nating maranasan, kindness na gustong-gusto nating iparamdam sa ating mga kapwa-tao. Let's help each other foster cultures that respect and honor our dignity as Filipinos, as citizens, as human beings. Again, maraming salamat, Diyos Mabalos, for having me. Mabuhay ang kabataang Pilipino.
Ikaw na, ma'am. Okay na po ata.
Hello. Okay, thank you very much, Senator Risa, for your unwavering leadership and advocacy in creating safe spaces, not only in Bicol but all over the country. So at this point, Joe.
So up next is our Safe Spaces panel discussion, where our resource speakers will share insights and answer key questions on implementation and community involvement.
Yes. And may we invite our resource persons, Attorney Valentina Cruz, Attorney Redoblado, Police Captain Gonzalez, Attorney Doria Bundo from Senate, and of course Senator Risa to lead the panel discussions. we also would like to request Dr. Maria Victoria Monte, the director from the Bicol University, to join the panelists. And of course, our moderator, Mr. Reynard Malonzo, investigative journalist from Rappler.
Hello, good morning everyone. Good morning to our dear panelists and of course to our stakeholders, community members, and students. We all thank you for being here today. So, just basic ground rules in this panel discussion is that, of course, we are talking about no way we will tolerate being bastos anymore. So the main rule in this is that we request all our audience, especially those who will be asking questions, to be extra careful for us to be more inclusive in this discussion. So for our audience, for our student participants, you will be given an opportunity to ask questions that you can directly throw to the members of our panelists. So you guys will be given like an ample time naman, di ba, to prepare your questions. Joff will be the one who will be assisting us in giving you the microphone. He is already stationed near you. So, again, it is an honor to be to have you all here in our Bawal Bastos event here in Bicol University. So, as the students prepare their questions, of course, we learned from the previous discussion that one of the challenges really in the implementation of this law, of the Bawal Bastos law, is the emergence of technology. It's so ironic, right, that these forms of technology we used to use it to connect, now it already created gaps in our community. So this event is really a challenge for us to elicit, opinions from our audience, especially to our stakeholders, to our students, for the possible amendment of the anti-bastos law. So we're gonna run through first with our previous discussions a while ago. So we know for a fact that gender prejudices, not limited only to women, but also even to men and members of the LGBTQIA+ community, had been, rampant, especially in the cases of the Bicol region. So we are anchoring this discussions actually in the Bicol so that our audience would be able to connect with the grassroots experiences that they had. So for Attorney Tina, we are actually curious that with years of the implementation of the anti-bastos law and even the anti-sexual harassment law, and as affirmed by the situation provided to us by Attorney Gonzalez a while ago, we learned that the problem that we have is now coupled with online-based harassment. So, are there any ways that the Senate already have something in mind of how can we onboard the communities, especially because communities are the strength of the government and communities are the one who would benefit from these laws. So how can we onboard the communities in ensuring that these laws are fully maximized in terms of implementation, especially in many communities and sector in Bicol that suffers most from these forms of violence?
Good. And I don't know if our senator from PNP can siguro yun yung pinaka-common na nangyayari in everyday life. Kaya lang, siguro, hindi masyado madami yung nagko-complain. Kasi medyo mababa lang yung penalty. Pero actually, if you file a complaint, it will serve as a lesson to those who do this gender-based sexual harassment, especially in public spaces and in the streets.
Kaya lang, I think, mas concerning yun sa online kasi mas pervasive and sometimes you cannot really find out immediately kung sino yung gumawa nun, no? Sometimes you have to do research and sometimes people, the offenders hide behind different names and they, of course, they don't use their own, their real names and it's very difficult to find out where they are and how you can go after them. So it would be helpful if we can look at statistics on how many cases have actually been filed. But really, I think the most important thing is to push for awareness of the law and really make people not afraid to file cases. Maybe a representative from
Yeah. For other
also-
panelists, you can add if you have something to add from the answers of one of the members of the panel. So, Attorney, just I was so focused on the emerging trends of these forms of harassment. Well, to give context to everyone who are not actually from Bicol University, we have student forums, I think, that are still very, very active right now, and Freedom Wall. So, from the legal perspectives, especially from the side of the Senate, how can we solve cases that, some perpetrators hide from anonymity because of anonymity?
Actually, what the PNP does is they have a cybercrime unit, no? So they're the unit which has the expertise to find out where the perpetrators are, no? So it's not that easy, but then little by little they are finding out where the perpetrators are, and as long as the offended parties file cases and really pursue the cases, then we will really be able to see a dent. Kasi sa dami ng cases of cybercrimes now, of course, sexual harassment is just one of the cybercrimes. Madaming ginagawang cybercrimes online. But then, we really have to pursue those to really show people that we mean business, na hindi basta-basta, no? Because, everybody ngayon, may masabi na lang, no? You post something and then you get so many responses online. And some of them are really rude. And some of them are talagang nakakainis, no? But you don't know how to go after them. So, the cybercrime unit of the PNP, as far as the online offenses are concerned, sila yung makakatulong sa atin. But we have to do our part that if we are a victim, we should file complaints and pursue it.
Thank you, Attorney. If anyone would like to add?
So, magandang hapon ulit, mga kapatid. Ayan, ako na naman. Ayan. So, ganito. To give you a data regarding the Safe Spaces Act cases that had been filed within the Bicol region, ang naging reporting kasi namin dito po is based po sa mga police provincial offices. So, we have, sa Albay PPO po, meron po kaming 2 solved na case. Sa Camarines Norte PPO, we have 1 solved case. Ano po ito ha? Safe Spaces Act lang po ito. So, naka-confined po yung data na gathered ko is doon lang po sa violation ng Safe Spaces Act. Hindi ko na po sinama yung other gender-based violence na sa BAUSI. Hindi ko na po sinama. So, confined lang po ito sa Safe Spaces Act. I reiterate po. So, I repeat, sa Albay PPO, meron po kaming 2 solved na cases. Tapos, meron po kami sa Cam Norte PPO, isa. Sa Camarines Sur PPO, meron po kaming 1 cleared case. So, ano po yung pagkakaiba ng cleared sa solved? pag sinabi po kasi natin mga ma'am sir na cleared po sa level ni PNP, ibig sabihin na endorse na po namin siya sa prosecution. So kami po kasi alam niyo naman, pag mga criminal cases, it is instituted by the proper law enforcement authority. So nakalagay po yan sa ating rules of criminal procedure na ang dapat po na magpo-file ng case, lalo na pag criminal case, ay law enforcement. In that case, that is the PNP. So yun po yung tinatawag nating direct filing. So kami po, meron po kaming isang cleared na case, ibig sabihin na endorse na po namin siya sa prosecution and still waiting for resolution. Kung airtight ba yung kaso namin, it will push through, but if not, it will be dismissed without prejudice. Ibig sabihin, it can be refiled. Ano po? So meron kasi tayong dalawang klase ng dismissal. So sa Catanduanes PPO, may isa rin po kaming cleared na kaso. Ibig sabihin, endorsed pa lang po sa prosecutor. Ano po? And for waiting for resolution. Sa Masbate PPO, wala. 0 po ang report. Naga CPO, we have 3 cleared and 6 solved. So, yan po. Sa Naga po kasi medyo doon po yung foot traffic natin. Alam naman natin po, di ba? Ang Naga ay sikat sa Peña Francia Festival. So, doon po, medyo ang mga kababayan po natin sa Naga, they are very assertive of their rights. They know what their rights is. So, given the good governance po ng ating butihing mayor na si Mayor Leni Robredo, ang ating pong mga kasamahan sa Naga ay aware po sa rights nila. Kaya ito po, marami po kaming, the community is very engaging. We receive complaints po talaga. So, ang sa part po ni PNP, we are intensifying our PCR activities, yung mga community relations activities. Hello, ayan, I'm back. Ayan. Sige po. So, ipagpapatuloy ko, mga kapatid, sa Naga, meron kaming 3 cleared at meron po kaming 6 na solved. Sa Sorsogon PPO naman po, meron po kaming isang solved, 0 yung cleared. Ibig sabihin po, na-push through itong case na ito. So, given the stats, meron po kaming grand total of 16 cases po. Sa Safe Spaces Act lang po ito. Ano po? So, usually po kasi, ang mga complaints talaga is more on the non-support. Ano po? And then, the repeated cycle of violence. Na, ang reference po natin dito is yung Vauci Law. Ano po? So, ito pong data na ito ay generated po ng aming WCPD sa PRO5. So, this is on a regional scale na po. Ano po? So, nabanggit din po ni Madam Attorney kanina na si PNP po ay mayroong cybercrime unit. Actually po, ang tawag namin sa mga kasamahan namin sa cyber unit ay mga pulis pang Kalawakan. Diba? Oo, kasi meron silang training. Makikita nyo kung ang certain police personnel ay assigned sa anti-cybercrime unit kasi sila ay may badge. Ang badge nila ay CyberCop, o di ba? Pulis pang Kalawakan nga sila. So, ang purpose po nila is tulungan po tayo ma-process yung ating complaint na connected connected using online platforms. So pag meron po kayong mga instances na you were able to experience online gender-based sexual harassment, you go to the proper authority. Sino po ba ang proper authority? Unang-una po yung ating WCPD desk na nasa mga stations, police stations. Meron din po tayong mga help desk po sa local government units and any place. Meron po tayo niyan, kahit sa mga malls, meron po tayo niyan. Kasi nga po, ini-intensify natin itong Safe Spaces Act na batas na ito, na dapat walang babae man or kahit sino, hindi babae, lahat tayo, wala po dapat na makaranas ng ganitong gender-based sexual harassment because all of us are equal. Di ba po? We are all born equal. Yan. So ano po ba ang mandato nitong cybercrime unit? Pag meron pong mga complaints that has something to do with the violation of the Anti-Cybercrime Prevention Act of 2012, the Data Privacy Act, pwede po yan sa amin. Pero pag DPA, meron tayong special body dyan. Pero ang focus ni PNP is on the cyber crimes. So pag nakaranas ngayon halimbawa ng cyber libel, saan kayo pupunta? Magre-report muna kayo sa station kung saan kayo nakatira. Or kung saan man yan nangyari, pwede pong i-blatter yan. So ano po ang gagawin ng desk officer? Kayo po ay i-course through sa WCPD kung yan po ay online sexual, gender-based sexual harassment. So pag ganun po, i-course through kayo sa tamang unit. Galing kay WCPD ng istasyon, i-course through po kayo niyan sa cybercrime unit. Meron po tayong cybercrime unit sa mga police provincial offices. At meron po tayo dito sa region, we have the RACO, the Regional Anti-Cybercrime Unit. So pag meron po kayong mga ebidensya na online screenshots, di ba nabanggit ko kanina, the power of screenshots, bago po natin yan magamit on our end, that must be authenticated. So how can we authenticate that? Kung dito sa cellphone niya na to, nanggaling yung screenshot, you will bring this to the RACO or you will bring this to the station kung saan kayo magre-report. And then, the personnel who will assist you, i-course through nila kayo sa RACO and then they will make a request for the digital forensic examination. Ang kailangan po kasi, mga ma'am sir, ma-compare yung screenshot na nakuha doon sa phone nyo at doon sa phone kung saan galing yung screenshot. That is how you authenticate the screenshot. So kung halimbawa po, usually kasi di ba lahat ng crimes perpetrated na online. Ang ginagawa po namin yan para maka-elicit kami ng information, kinukuha namin yung phone with the consent of the person, kung sino po yung may-ari ng phone, kasi hindi po kami pwedeng kumuha ng phone ng walang consent. Bakit? That is your personal property. And we have a guarantee under the Constitution, ano yon, for unreasonable searches and seizure. Take note, hindi po si PNP pwedeng basta-basta lang kumuha ng mga bagay dyan nang wala po ninyong permiso. So, kami po hihingi ng consent. Kung kayo po yung complainant, ma'am, dito po nakuha yung screenshot. Ang gagawin, you will turn over your phone to the RACO. They will ask for your consent to prove that you voluntarily give the phone. And then, ang gagawin po niyan, i-extract yung data sa phone. Tapos, after the extraction, ibabalik po yan sa inyo, and then, the digital forensic examination will make now the digital forensic examination report. Ganon po yan. Saka lang po yan pwedeng maging admissible in evidence. Absent that, the court will not accept that. Kasi may chain of custody po tayo. Thank you.
Thank you, Attorney Gonzales, and thank you to other members of the panelists. Unfortunately, though, would not be proceeding to the question and answer portion with our students because of time, and because Senator Risa, our guest speaker, are supposed to leave with her team because of other engagements. But before we say goodbye, we have one question selected for Senator Risa, because with these laws, we'll entertain questions. Senator Risa, are you okay?
Kahit tatlong tanong, sabay-sabay na maitanong para
Alright.
sabay-sabay na namin subukan masagot. Hindi lang ako, pati yung ibang members ng panel. Para, kasi nakita ko kinolekta yung mga tanong, sayang naman.
Thank you for that, Senator Risa. We really appreciate your time, generosity. So, we'll be selecting 3 students who will be lucky enough to ask the author of the laws, of the anti-business law. So, Joff, do we already have one student there? Okay, thank you so much, Kuya Reynard. So, I think we have one question here that we will cater. Okay.
Good afternoon po. I am Patricia Reyes po from Jesse M. Robredo Institute of Governance and Development. I just want to first po, clear po before my follow-up question po. Mabilis man lang po. Yung pagdating po sa complaint, for example po, yung victim po, nabastos po siya or nahawakan, and na-late po siya. For example, I want to clarify first po. Yung pag complaint po, and then,
may specific or may time limit lang po ba or year limit po sa pag-file ng case po?
Again, to repeat the question from our student, is there a time limit that a victim can file a case against the perpetrator?
Hindi ko masyadong narinig yung kind of complaint kasi iba, depending on the offense, iba-iba yung prescriptive period. So, kasi kunyari yung mga catcalling or whistling, mga 1 year lang ang prescriptive period doon. Pero syempre, yung mga online sexual harassment, most of those are imprescriptible. Kasi alam naman natin na yung pag na-post ka sa social media, parang halat ano na yan it's forever. So, imprescriptible. So, hindi ko kasi masyadong naintindihan kung ano yung offense na na-commit. So, depende kasi dun sa na offense crime committed. Kasi dun sa safe spaces, sa public places and streets, depende sa, may category na 1 year lang, may 3 years lang, may 5 years. So, tignan natin yung, kung saan magfo-fall yung crime na yon. Tapos, doon natin makikita kung ano yung prescriptive period. Kaya, yung, as I said, yung yung mga catcalling, yung mga ganon, 1 year lang ang prescriptive period. Pero, like for example, yung flashing and masturbation in public, if I'm not mistaken, 3 years ang prescriptive period doon. I'm sorry, I didn't really understand ano yung offense na na-commit doon sa case mo.
Like for example po, nahawakan po and then yung nanghawak po, yung nang bastos, tinakot niya po yung victim and then yung victim po, since natakot po siya, it took them or him years for para mag-file ng complaint. Yung complaint po ba, kaano pa rin po siya ka-effective?
Ang offense is touching, unwanted touching. Parang ang tanda ko is 5 years ang prescriptive period. Pero I have to double check kung talagang sa sa in streets and public places. Na ngayon kung sa workplace or educational institution, baka pareho din. But I have to double check kung tama yung alala ko sa prescriptive period. So, kung na-file na ba niya? Na-file na niya yung complaint?
Hindi pa lang.
Hindi pa. Oo. So, kailangan nating tingnan kung kailan nangyari, tapos kung ilan ang taon yun since nangyari.
So siguro Patricia, based dun sa sinabi ni Attorney Pina, kung hindi pa man desidido yung victim survivor kung magfa-file siya ng criminal case, pero once na ma-realize niya na na-offend siya, ayaw niya ng ganon, at the very least pwede siguro magkonsulta sa CODI ng university about yung ganon, prescriptive period, para alam niya gaano kahaba ang panahon niya within which time to decide whether magfa-file siya ng case or hindi. Para at least manatiling bukas yung option niyang ganon.
Ayun man lang po. Thank you po. Thank you so much.
Thank you again to the members of our panelists and to our students. Do we have another student? Okay, we will cater at two more students to our audience. Okay. So before that, Attorney Dal will add something.
Hello. Okay, so in addition po doon sa concern ng ating student, if you are confused as to what case to file or kung ano yung violation or ginawa sa inyo, the legal office is always open to give you legal advice. It does not necessarily mean that every time may nakomit sa inyo, automatic ay violation siya ng Safe Space Act. No? Because we have an array of violations or of crimes or felonies na tinatawag. So baka sa una, sa isip nyo, violation siya ng Safe Space Act. But baka pwede naman siyang ibang crime or felony or ibang violation. So for you to be guided properly, you may visit the legal office. Anyway, the consultation is free of course. That is public service. And the confidentiality is guaranteed naman po yan. Hindi
namin yan pinapalabas. So doon po namin malalaman kung saan kayong unit dapat mag-proceed. So if it's really a case of a violation of Safe Space Act, then we will endorse you to our coding. And doon niyo po malalaman kung ano po yung prescriptive period for that specific act. Kasi case-to-case basis po yan. So there is no uniform prescriptive period. Okay, so that's all. Thank you.
Thank you, Attorney.
Baka yung huling dalawang tanong, pwedeng ang tanungin sabay.
Sige.
Para pwedeng sabay na
So,
masagot.
for the last two questions, we'll have a combined throwing of question na. So, combined na sila. Mag-isa na lang.
Iko-correct ko lang yung sarili ko kasi sinabi ko yung touching 5 years. Natitingin ko lang sa slides ko 10 years pala from the time of commission. So the prescriptive period is 10 years.
Okay, so let's proceed to the next question. Okay, and let's proceed to the next question coming from the crowd. Yes po, proceed na po here. Okay, we'll combine the two. So, pwedeng
Combine the two?
First, si ma'am from College of Medicine, and then pwedeng immediately after, we can go with sir from College of Social Science and Philosophy.
Hello po, good morning. My question po, especially for the Safe Spaces Act, where does the law or the Safe Spaces Act begin and end when it comes to AI-generated deepfakes and content used for sexual harassment and exploitation? Since you mentioned din po kanina, Sen. Risa, regarding this AI-generated content and deepfakes, where does po yung Safe Spaces Act, where does it begin and end when it comes to this content used for sexual harassment and exploitation? Actually, ang tingin ko, yung AI-generated sexual harassment, hindi pa masyadong na-envision yan nung unang naipasa yung batas in 2019. Kasi ngayon lang nag-emerge yun. That's why Senator Risa is proposing to amend RA 11313 to include sexual harassment using artificial intelligence. Although, meron na rin some provisions in RA 11313 na pag ginamit yung image mo, kunyari, photoshop nilagay, but I don't really know kung using AI yon, no? Pero pag, kunyari, ginamit yung mukha mo, pinatong sa mukha ng iba, that can already be covered by RA 11313. Kaya lang yung new forms of ginagawa sa cyberspace using AI, hindi ko masyadong sigurado kung covered na ng Safe Spaces Act. Kasi nga, hindi pa siya masyadong nangyayari yung artificial intelligence methods to sexually harass noong 2019 nung napasa yung batas.
Could we take the third question also para pwedeng subukang sagutin ng sabay yung dalawa? Salamat po.
Okay, Diyos marhay na aldaw po, Senator Risa. Diyos marhay na aldaw sa Tuya Gabos. So, my question is directed to Senator Risa and then Attorney Cruz because I am a SIP coordinator, Student Internship Program or OJT, On-the-Job Training Coordinator sa Jesse M. Robredo Institute of Governance and Development.
Okay.
So, ang tanong ko, since naghawak ko ng office na to, designation na to, may mga observations ako regarding sa pagdi-deploy ng mga bata. Though sinabi nga ni Attorney Daryl na we are compliant dito sa university, but my question is dito sa partner agency namin. So may mga hindi tumatanggap ng expression ng mga estudyante namin. So one typical example is pag dineploy sila, ayaw ng partner agency na i-welcome yung expression nila, hindi nila tinatanggap. So ang situation is paano kung yung estudyante nasa laylayan? So mahirap siyang mag-board, mahirap ang pamasahe. Yung option lang niya is makapag-OJT or student internship program doon sa LGU or sa government agency na malapit sa kanila.
Okay.
So, pero inayawan nung agency. So paano po yung safe spaces, Bastos Law help us, tapang word, coerce this government agency para ma-cater yung mga estudyante namin. So, thank you very much.
Okay, let me clarify your question. You're on-the-job coordinator, tapos meron kayong nire-refer na on-the-job trainees to, for example, agencies na ayaw tanggapin yung on-the-job trainees because of what, their sexual orientation or because of their sexual expression. So hindi sila inaalaw tanggapin, no? So that is a form of discrimination. Ngayon, in a way, it can be discrimination siya dahil wala silang access dun sa agency na na hindi sila makapag on-the-job training. I don't really know if that will be sexual harassment per se. Kasi yung sexual harassment, may ginawa against you na sexual in nature. Pero yung sa kaso mo, it's not sexual harassment but more of discrimination because of sexual orientation, sexual identity, or sexual expression. If I understand you correctly, no? So pwede naman magreklamo dun sa agency na dapat hindi kayo nagdi-discriminate against on-the-job trainees solely because of the sexual identity, sexual orientation, or sexual expression of on-the-job trainees kasi kawawa naman. No, I really that's why my impression is it's not really sexual harassment per se, but it's more of sexual discrimination.
Dun sa pangalawang tanong, dagdag sa sinabi ni Attorney Tina, so in a way, the Bawal Bastos Law stop before AI. Kaya nga, yung AI ang pinaka-laman nung gusto naming buwing amendment sa Safe Spaces Law o Bawal Bastos Act para nga i-update siya sa kasalukuyang pag-iral ng AI sa ating mundo at saka sa ating bansa. And I concur also with Attorney Tina, yung particular concern niyo, sir, ay actually mas covered dun sa SOGI Equality Bill. Opo, kasi sa ngayon, wala pang compulsion in effect under the law, kaugnay ng karapatan. At naniniwala ako, karapatan nito, whether ng estudyante or worker, na yung gender expression niya ay mabigyang daan niya in whatever space. We're still fighting for the passage of the SOGI Equality Bill. Pero kung tumawid, yung pagkait na nga nung karapatan niya sa kanyang gender expression, dun sa harassment, dun sa kabastusan, dahil sa kanyang SOGI, then magiging paglabag na sa Bawal Bastos Law. And siguro last lamang mula sa akin kasi, sorry sir, and mga kasama, I need to go ahead lang po. Quick sharing lang, merong, I think, very important development sa isang SUC na hindi ko pangangalanan. Pero, natalakay namin ito during the weeks na tinatrabaho namin yung budget para sa 2026. Meron po kasing kaso dun sa kanila, yung isang babaeng estudyante, inakusahan niya yung ex niya na ni-rape siya dun sa apartment niya. Nagreklamo siya sa CODI ng SUC nila. Ang naging ruling o desisyon ng CODI ay walang ang tawag doon, walang jurisdiction ang university dahil nangyari yung alleged crime sa labas ng campus. So, nalaman po ng office ko, dun sa babae, nagtanong po kami sa Philippine Commission on Women. Ang ganda po ng nilabas na opinion ng PCW. Kahit pa off-campus nangyari yung alleged crime, dahil doon sa prinsipyo ng parents patriae ba yun, dahil enrolled yung estudyante sa SUC, mayroong pa rin jurisdiction ang SUC sa ilalim ng bawal bastos law and maybe other laws as well. May karugtong pa yan kasi yung section ng babae sa university, di talaga nila tanggap yung ganyang decision ng CODI ng university nila. So dahil tingin nila wala nang maaasahang hustisya yung kaklase nila or section mate nila, nag-post sila about this case online. At talagang itinakwil nila yung ginawa nung ex nung kanilang classmate. Kasi classmate din nila. Sila ngayon ang binalikan ng SUC na naglabag daw sa anti-cybercrime. So talagang nawindang din kami. Pero teka muna, yung main alleged crime hindi pa nga nare-resolve dahil si girl nagreklamo na sa law enforcement authorities, pending pa yung kaso. Biglang ang una pang sisitahin, papatawan ng academic disciplinary action ay yung victim survivor at yung mga kaklase niya. So nakipag-usap po kami sa administration, in-update po namin sila na ganito po ang opinion ng Philippine Commission on Women. And in fairness po sa kanila, mukhang susunod sila sa magandang halimbawa ng BU. Sabi nila, they are actually in the process of also reviewing and updating their student handbook at pag-update din nung CODI nila. So, sharing lang po dahil ibig sabihin yung ating mga SUCs ay kaya pong magbago at kayang mag-evolve para lalong gawing safe spaces ang mga campuses para sa mga estudyante, admin, faculty, non-teaching personnel. Salamat, Tabi.
Thank you, thank you. Thank you to the members of our panelists, especially to Senator Risa. So, it is really important that we champion local actions and initiatives in ensuring that walang mababastos. So, thank you for your time. So, thank you, thank you. Of course, thank you to the participants of this event. We know for sure that we can send message not only to Senator Risa but also to members of the Senate. And I think they are open to answer questions naman even beyond this event.
Thank you very much. You may now go back to your seats, ma'am. Thank you po. And Senator Risa, ma'am. Please, at this point, we'd like to call on our Chairperson, University Student Council, Mr. Kyle Ruben Bron, to award this certificate to our dear Senator Risa Ontiveros. This certificate of commendation is hereby given to Honorable Senator Risa Ontiveros in sincere recognition and appreciation of her invaluable insights during the Bawal and Bastos with Senator Risa Ontiveros, a forum on the Safe Spaces Act held on December 11, 2025 at the Bicol University College of Engineering Gymnasium. Your commitment to promoting inclusive spaces and raising awareness on the Safe Spaces Act has enriched the knowledge and understanding of the Bicol University community. Given this 11th day of December 2025 at Bicol University, Buseng Gymnasium, signed Kyle Ruben Bron, Student Regent, Bicol University Chairperson, Student Council, and Mary Joy Mandane Ortiz, Senior Advisor, BU University Student Council. Thank you very much, Senator.
In closing, we would like to thank, of course, Senator Risa Ontiveros, the Philippine National Police, all the students who attended this event, and also our deans and directors, the University Legal Office, the Center for Gender and Development, both of Senate and of Bicol University, and for the resource speakers, we also prepared gifts for you, but due to time constraints, we cannot give them to you on stage. But Senator Risa, thank you very much for visiting Bicol University. Yeah. And thank you also to the University Student Council, to the university councilors, to all our volunteers, the University Safety and Security Offices. Thank you very much po.
Thank you very much, Kyle. As we bring the program to a close, we'll have a very short video and photo op with the Senator. Ganito po, may konting script tayo. A Senator will say, dito sa Bicol, then all of us will say, bawal ang bastos. Okay? Understand? Okay. So, Senator, dito sa Bicol, you will say that, and everyone will say, bawal ang bastos. Okay? Ready? Senator?
Digdi sa Bicol.
Yay! Thank you so much. And photo opportunity, please remain standing.